get this far in life.
This is your chance to do something special. Champions don't hesitate. They go.
Leave a little bit of yourself on this field today.
Gotta go to work. Gotta go to work. Gotta go to work.
It's Labor Day, the figurative end of summer, a day to honor working men and women. Parades and picnics and barbecues, a celebration of the brain power and the muscle that constantly energizes the American dream. And tonight we begin the 31st season of Monday Night Football, celebrating hard-working champions and offering up an array of unanswered questions. Can Terrell Davis recapture his MVP form after a devastating knee injury ended his season in Week 4? Will Brian Greasy prove a worthy successor to John Elway? And will a new blend and a fresh start provide ample substitutes for the loss of experience? Or will Mike Shanahan be forced to think about another overhaul? After coming from nowhere land, can the Rams return to fantasy land? Last season, Kurt Warner was the ultimate working man's hero. The not long ago grocery clerk now reaps the rewards with a mega $1 million contract. Will the payout pay off for St. Louis? The same can be asked of Isaac Bruce and of Marshall Faulk. Will success spoil the Rams or fuel their hunger? Can new coach Mike Martz equal the accomplishment of Dick Vermeil? And coming off their heroics in the Super Bowl, can Kevin Carter and the Ram defense continue as a silent killer? The answers begin to unfold tonight as the Super Bowl champion St. Louis Rams host the Denver Broncos on ABC's Monday Night Football.
Are you ready for some football? With a flash of thunder and a lightning strike. They're storming the field. Sparks will fly tonight. We're charged and ready. The crowd goes berserk. It's a wake-up call. Time to go to work. Everybody get ready. It's going to get rough because Monday Night Football is powerful stuff. Come on and hit it. Come on and get ready. Are you ready for some football? A Monday Night Party? Yes, sir. The countdown to the kickoff has officially started. There's no neutral corner in this heavyweight fight. All my rowdy friends are here for Monday night.
What does it look like and what does it sound like when fans welcome a championship team just like this? The Trans World Dome rocking as their Rams take on the Denver Broncos. I'm Al Michaels. Welcome to year 31 of Monday Night Football. We have a great schedule beginning tonight with the world champion Rams, who did not have a single winning season in the 90s until last year, when they went 13-3, then ran the table in the playoffs and brought home the Lombardi Trophy, which is on display here tonight. Meanwhile, the Broncos coming off their 2 Super Bowl wins, but last year suffered the post-John Elway hangover, wound up 6-10, think that they can get back to the mountaintop in 2000. So, from the shadow of the Gateway Arch, the gateway to the west, Monday Night Football year 2000 begins, the Broncos and the Rams. Like to St. Louis, there are few people on this planet who can more appreciate what the Rams did last year than our Hall of Fame quarterback, Dan Fouts. We're looking at a team tonight, Dan, that scored the 3rd most points in the history of the National Football League.
And you know, both defenses are really going to be tested tonight because they're going to look at the 2 most dominant passing styles in the NFL. The Bronco defenders will see the Rams version of Eric Coryell, a vertical offense that stretches the width of the field and gets the ball in these receivers' hands heading towards the goal line. Now the Broncos, a West Coast style of offense that will stretch the width of the field. Both are successful, both win championships, and both defenses are going to be tested tonight.
And with the fireworks going off in the background, Denver hopes that Terrell Davis can provide his own blend of fireworks this year. Back from knee surgery. More on that. Here's Melissa Stark. Melissa.
Al, that's the biggest question for the Broncos. Will Terrell Davis be the same player? In pregame warm-ups, he looked tentative. He grabbed his knee a few times, even stumbled. Remember, he's playing on AstroTurf tonight, which is much firmer, much less forgiving than grass. He's not wearing a brace. In fact, he told his doctors before the surgery he never intended to wear a brace. He didn't want to remind
in his 31st season of Monday Night Football. Mr. Dennis Miller, you know, I'm looking at your wardrobe. This is a blast from the past. I love it.
First game, Al. Ladies and gentlemen, you knew I had to break out the colors. I want to talk for a second about Kurt Warner, a man who's seemingly as implacable as the pocket as most of us are in a hammock. Now, I attribute this to two reasons. First, his experience in the Arena Football League. I think the compacted nature of that venue must make Warner feel like he's gone from a bumper pool table to a snooker table. Secondly, and more importantly, I believe, is he has a deep and fervent belief in a higher power. No, I do not need Paul Tagliabue. Indeed, his debut was so preternatural last year, one can only assume that Warner is a latter-day Joe Hardy. And the simple fact is, since this guy found Christ, he finds the open man with uncanny frequency. TGIM, Al.
Did that jacket start last week in my closet?
It did, and let's get it right back there after the game amidst its Nehrus.
You can keep it. You talked about Warner, but the Rams are seeking more balance in their offense. For more on that, Eric Dickerson. Eric, what do they have to do?
Well, most definitely, Al, they've got to get Marshall Faulk back into the game. In the preseason, he's ran the ball 15 times for 75 yards. And it's going to be interesting to see if they can get this running game back on track. Now, keep in mind, not even the great John Elway could win a Super Bowl until they drafted Terrell Davis. Now, the only way they can do this is to get back on the legs of Marshall Faulk.
The Stars are out tonight in St. Louis. What a way to begin Monday Night Football. Mike Shanahan brings his Broncos in with Brian Griese at the helm against the world champions St. Louis Rams. Horn, who led the league in kickoff return average last season, and he's tackled by Deltha O'Neal. And so the Rams come out. Kurt Warner to take over. Let's meet the Rams backs and receivers.
Kurt Warner, quarterback, University of Northern Iowa.
Marshall Faulk, running back, San Diego State University.
Robert Holcomb, fullback, University of Illinois. Roland Williams, tight end, Syracuse University.
Torrey Holt, wide receiver, North Carolina State University.
Isaac Bruce, wide receiver, University of Memphis.
Speed, and more speed. We'll meet the line in a second. First down at the 19-yard line. They begin with a double tight end set and start on the ground, and Faulk gets taken down by Eric Brown, the safety coming through to knock him down. Now let's meet the Rams up front, the interior five.
Orlando Pace, offensive tackle, Ohio State University.
Tom Newton, left guard, Western Michigan University.
Andy McCullum, center, University of Toledo.
Adam Timmerman, offensive guard, South Dakota State University.
Ryan Tucker, offensive tackle, Texas Christian University.
At second down and 15. And the Rams now empty the backfield. So Warner, a short drop, fires, slant, caught. Marshall Faulk out of the backfield to the 25-yard line. It'll be third down and 4. The Denver defense. The linemen and backers.
Mahatani Vasa, defensive end, University of Hawaii.
Keith Traylor, defensive tackle, Central Oklahoma.
Trevor Price, defensive tackle, Clemson.
Vika Pittman, defensive end, McNeese State University.
Glenn Cadrez, linebacker, University of Houston.
Al Wilson, linebacker, Tennessee.
Bill Romanowski, I'm an outside linebacker from Boston College.
And still missing, you'll notice, John Mobley, who had knee surgery last year, had arthroscopic knee surgery again, inactive tonight. They think he can play next week against Atlanta. On third down and 4, Warner's pass is incomplete. Is there a flag? There is none. Hakeem got up, looked immediately at the official. He's covered by the former Dolphin and Packer Terrell Buckley.
Terrell Buckley has wonderful coverage on this play. The fans thought he might have got a little bit of a left-handed grab there on Hakeem. Might have got away with it, but the ball was clearly uncatchable, sailing out of bounds.
Well, you know, Terrell's used to playing that tight man-to-man from down there in Miami, where he was like a latter-day Jimmy Marsalis. They said they're going to give him a little more help up here.
So 3 and out, and John Baker, a rookie, just signed last week to punt. And it is fair caught at the 41-yard line by Deltha O'Neal. 34-yard kick. Now here is Brian Griese, son of the Hall of Famer Bob Griese, who is here tonight. Terrell Davis back from knee surgery. Howard Griffiths is a former Ram. And then outside, Smith and McCaffrey are outstanding. And with Shannon Sharp in Baltimore, Dwayne Carswell is the starting tight end.
Great start for the Broncos on defense. 3 plays and out against the Rams. The key play was that first play when Brown goes in there and drops Falk for a 5-yard loss.
I was shocked they ran on first. Evidently, Denver wasn't.
Now from the 41. Denver begins as they give the ball to Terrell Davis, who carries the ball for the first time since the 4th week last season. Tony Jones up front for the Broncos, 13th year. Schlereth in his 12th. Nalen's a Pro Bowler. Dan Neal a good one. And Matt Lepsish. They are fast and they are light. There is not a single guy on the offensive line who weighs 300 pounds, and that is unique in the National Football League.
It's unique in college football these days, too.
Yes.
Well, we ran into their position coach, Alex Gibbs, today, and he's light, too. So I guess he likes people that way.
2nd and 6. Davis picks up a couple. It'll be 3rd down and 4. So he covers, does carries. Davis does twice. And let's meet the Ram defense right now. The linemen and linebackers.
Kevin Carter, defensive end, University of Florida.
Grant Whipster, defensive end, University of Nebraska.
Ray Agnew, defensive tackle, North Carolina State University.
DeMarco Farr, defensive tackle,
University of Washington.
Todd Collins, linebacker, Carson Newman College.
London Fletcher, linebacker, John Carroll University.
Michael Jones, outside linebacker, University of Missouri.
Mike Jones, the big Super Bowl hero, made that tackle on Dyson. Now they give it to Davis again, who turns the corner and picks up a 1st down. So Davis, behind a Matt Lepsish block, after a year of rehab, comes back and carries the ball on Denver's first 3 plays.
I'm thinking he's rehabbed.
I'm thinking this is an awful good play by the Broncos. You talked about Matt Lepsish getting out in front. On 3rd down, they cross up the Rams and go with the running play. And there's that block by Lepsish on Jones. Davis has got the corner, and Davis has a wonderful start to his first game back from knee surgery.
1st and 10 at the 42-yard line. That's McCaffrey. 87 in motion as Greasy surveys. Great protection. Fires wide open at the 32 is Rod Smith, and the wide receiver gets to the 26 for a Denver 1st down. He's tackled by the safety Keith Lyle.
Now you talked about the key blocking on the last run. This pass protection's perfect. Watch how quickly Smith makes up his mind to get down the field. That's 7 extra yards after he caught the ball. There's that pass protection. There's a hole in the zone right there. Perfect decision, and 7 for yards.
Shanahan couldn't be happier. He gets his returning running back off, then he gets his young quarterback off on back-to-back plays.
And a 3 and out against the Rams, so it's a perfect start for Denver. This is caught by Carswell, and he takes the ball inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal. He is stopped there by London Fletcher.
And I might add to it, now he gets his new tight end off, too, so he's got all 3.
Well, and the Rams were in man-to-man defense. The corner followed the wide receiver Smith to the inside. That allowed Carswell to get to the outside. And right now, Gary Kubiak and Mike Shanahan's offensive plan could not be working better.
Well, you knew Shanahan was going to be ready. The guy's already a genius. Now he's a genius with a breather. He's coming out firing.
1st and goal, Denver at the St. Louis 8. The fake, the bootleg, Greasy wide open to the end zone.
Well, the kid's got to be feeling his oats now.
Well, when you've got it all going with the running with Davis to start the game, 3 straight running plays, then they get the couple of pass plays. The offense is just high as a kite because they're having success on every play. And then they come with a bootleg. The Rams fooled on 3 straight plays, and that gets the Broncos in the end zone.
It's almost like Shanahan wanted the mantle of unpredictable offensive genius back from Mike Martz, and he might have re-grabbed it there in the first series.
Elam for the point after. It makes it 7-0. So a perfect start. And the Broncos come in looking like the defending world champions. The fake to Davis, and then Greasy untouched.
What do I want the internet to be? I want it to be like Frank here. He really knows customers. Package Frank. Put him together with the internet. Now you've got something. Puts a whole new face on customer interaction.
Bonjour, monsieur. Good morning, Frank. Can I help you?
No matter how a customer gets a hold of us, they get the full Frank treatment. We know their business like the back of Frank's hand. We get them what they need, when they need it. You know, I just want doing e-business with us to be more human.
Today, Nortel Networks is combining the power of the new high-performance internet with the tools your business needs to deliver stronger, more Frank-like e.
Denver lighting up the board first in the Trans World Dome. The kickoff taken by Tony Horn at the 1. He averaged 30 yards a return last year. Breaks a tackle, skips to the outside, and turns a 15-yard run back had he been tackled earlier into a 47-yard return. Ian Gold, the rookie out of Michigan, couldn't stop him at the 15, and it winds up costing them an extra 33 yards.
It looked like a total disaster right about here. He's kind of just coasting up there. There's a missed tackle right there by a Bronco, and now it's that famous Rams speed as Horn gets to the outside, gets a beautiful block there, and the cameraman running right alongside of him, getting on down the field. Here's the block that sprung him right there.
You can't teach quicks, Danny.
That's Rich Cody. Beautiful block.
1st and 10 from the 47-yard line. Warner, play fake over the middle, wide open is Bruce. He fumbles inside the 35, but recovers himself. St. Louis retains possession. Terrell Buckley covering on the play.
See, that's the thing. When Bruce fumbles, you can't tell if they're saying Bruce or booing.
Well, after he gets it back, they're probably just saying Bruce. We talk about a wide open start to a ball game. This is fantastic.
Well, there's typical Warner there. It's like he's throwing darts in a British pub.
Good job of getting back after the ball by Ike Bruce right there, taking it away from 2 Broncos.
Typical track meet type beginning. Bruce lost a shoe, so Kroll is in the game. They pitch it back to Falk, and a great defensive play, knifing in Al Wilson to stop him.
Well, their rushing hangover continues. They didn't have a whole lot of yards in the postseason, and they haven't been able to tee it up yet.
Greg Robinson, the defensive coordinator, he's been with Shanahan since Mike took over in '95. In fact, Shanahan has kept his offensive and defensive coordinators, Kubiak and Robinson, and the 3 of them have been together longer than any such triumvirate in the National Football League currently. Bruce back in the game, 2nd down and 12 from the 36-yard line. 5 wide for the Rams. Nobody in the backfield, and still Warner has time. Winds up hitting Torrey Holt. Nice move there, and then he's tackled at the 30-yard line. Of course, he put the move on Keith Traylor, the defensive tackle.
And we're seeing wide open defense too. Keith Traylor makes the tackle down the field because the Rams or the Broncos rather are only going to rush 2 men. Watch Traylor drop out of the middle. There he is right there. This is a heck of a play by a guy that weighs 305 pounds.
I'm not sure you want a regular diet of dropping your 305-pounder back into pass coverage, but I guess once in a while it's okay.
I tell you, Torrey Holt's going to hear from his teammates on that one.
3rd down and 6. Warner hangs in, then throws, caught. Falling to the ground was Hakeem, but he's able to get up and pick up the 1st down. Had they tackled him when he went down, he would have been short of the 1st. He gets up and picks up the 1st down.
Well, they had so confused the Denver coverage, he had time to fall down, spin over, and get up and still make the 1st.
Well,
wide open.
And the ump cam's going to show him fall down here. There he is, but there are no Broncos around. Heads up by Hakeem. No, he just needed a couple of yards for the 1st.
That's as big a gap as you're going to find around 8 yards off the line.
1st and 10. Warner has already connected with 4 different receivers. 8 minutes into the game. Sets up the screen. This is Falk. That's his 2nd reception. And Marshall to the 18, where he's tackled by the safety, Eric Brown.
It's all part of the offensive script with Mike Martz. What he's trying to do, a number of things. Change the formations, change the motion, change your personnel, make the Broncos adjust on the run. And it also makes the Broncos have to account for not only Falk as a running back, but as a receiver. And the other thing, Al, as you just mentioned, all these other guys are getting involved in the game. That gets them in the game mentally as well as physically.
Get a feeling the guy working the scoreboard might end up with carpal tunnel syndrome after tonight.
2nd down and 5. Kroll in motion. Falk swings to the outside. Nice move. Takes it to the 10-yard line. Cut down by Billy Jenkins.
Marshall Faulk's the most dangerous offensive weapon in the NFL. Last year when the Rams handed him the ball, he got 5 yards a carry. He led them in receiving with 87. He's a legitimate threat to go all the way on any play. And the thing I love about him is he touched the ball 340 times last year and only fumbled twice. That's remarkable.
You know, Falk actually got up a little gimpy. We'll keep an eye on him after that last play. The ball is at the 12-yard line. Falk stays in the block, and then Warner throws, and the catch is made at the 8-yard line by Isaac Bruce. Denver says no. The officials confer with each other and say yes.
Warner, stunning accuracy.
They probably should review this one because it looked like Bruce only got one leg down. But the Rams will have a call if they think that they're going to have a review play, and they'll get right to the line of scrimmage.
Well, Marks told us when we met with him the other day, if there's any discrepancy about it, whether the call is, he's going to call fast, 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 get people to the line so they can get a playoff.
And they're going to say it was an incomplete pass.
So it renders it moot after the officials conferred with each other. One said in, the other said out. Second down and 10 from the 11-yard line. Warner looking and throwing. It's tipped in the air. It is intercepted by the linebacker Wilson, who takes it back to the 9-yard line. So this Ram drive, as they march down the field, ends with a tip, ends with a pick, and Denver has it back, to the consternation of Mike Martz.
Kurt Warner threw 5 interceptions in the red zone last year. This one was not his fault. The ball is knocked away from Williams. There's Al Wilson with his first career interception, and what a big one it is.
Denver gets it back. 5:22 left in the quarter. 7-0 Broncos. Denver has the ball. There's some concern about Kurt Warner and his hand. We'll detail it in a second as Denver takes over after the interception. From the 8-yard line, they give the ball to Terrell Davis, and he picks up 2. They were examining Warner's hand when he came back, and he apparently was shaken on the play before the interception when he went down in the arms of Tanuvasa.
This is a quarterback's worst nightmare, is to get his hand hit as he's throwing the ball. 98 is Tanuvasa, and it looked like Warner's right hand came down on the top of Tanuvasa's helmet.
And that was the play before the interception. Remember, last year Warner had 5 red zone interceptions, most in the league. That's his one Achilles heel, and tonight he gets picked on opening night. McCaffrey makes the catch, seeks the first down, and gets it to the 19-yard line, covered by Dexter McLean. Dan, let's go back and take a look at the pick by Wilson.
Trying to get the ball at tight end, Roland Williams over the middle. Good tight coverage on him. Ball pops up in the air. There's Wilson to make the grab, and the Denver defense gave up a lot of yards there, but when it came down to the red zone, Romanowski got that left hand in there. The old tip drill gets the interception.
Well, it's a high-risk, high-reward Ram offense, and you have anybody who misses it down that close, it's so tight, somebody's going to intercept it.
Here's Davis now to the 22. Greasy has begun the game 3 for his first 3, and Davis has carried 5 times for 22 yards. Now let's meet the Ram secondary.
Todd Light, defensive back, University of Notre Dame.
Dexter McLeon, cornerback, Clemson University.
Devin Bush, safety, Florida State University.
Keith Lyle, free safety, University of Virginia.
And the man who's missing from last year is Billy Jenkins, who now wears a Denver uniform and starts in their secondary. Toss back to Davis. Room to roam, and Terrell takes it up to the 28-yard line. Devin Bush makes the hit. And Dan, in looking at Davis, he looks like a guy who hadn't had to go through rehab.
You know, it's hard to tell that it's his right knee or his left knee. It was his right knee. And the plan for Davis, according to Gary Kubiak, the offensive coordinator, is for him to carry the ball 25 times tonight and for Olandis Gary to get it 15. Well, that's 40 rushes. If the Broncos get that, they win in a walkaway.
Testimony to Davis's greatness. He didn't play last year, and he still averaged 1,000 yards a year for the last 2.
3rd and 1, and this is Howard Griffith. They give it to the fullback to try to get the first down, and the ex-Ram, who doesn't carry that often, but is a blocker and a receiver, and the ball had been whistled dead, but the skirmish continues. And now the punt team will come out because they have stopped him shy of the first down.
And that little skirmish is all about attitude. The Broncos say, we're not a 6-10 team. We've won back-to-back Super Bowls. The Rams say, well, we're the Super Bowl champs. Come and get it.
Hakeem is back to receive. Hakeem has had a problem holding on to the ball. Both last year and in preseason. Tom Ruin, one of the best in the league. Tremendous kick. Hakeem fields it back at the 15-yard line, and it's going to break one. Hakeem with only the punter to beat. Ruin can't knock him down. He'll go all the way for a touchdown.
The punter was left in ruins.
No flag.
In a while, but when he does lock it in, the guy flies.
.86 yards on the return by Hakeem. Now the extra point for Wilkins. And the Rams, who scored 11 touchdowns last season on various types of returns, score their first touchdown of 2000 on a return.
Just let me hear some
With 2:05 left in the first, 7-7 as you look at Union Station, the Center for Train Transportation in the early 1900s, now an entertainment center in St. Louis.
Office map.
The Rams kicking off as the pick is fielded by Delta O'Neal, the Broncos' #1 pick, return man and defensive back out of the University of California, bringing it back to the 30-yard line. What a beginning in St. Louis. Denver marches down the field to take the early lead, and then Hakeem goes 86 on a punt return. We're locked at 7. Trans World Dome in St. Louis. Game tied 7-7. Late first quarter. Brian Greasy from the 30-yard line. Protected well, and that pass is through the hands of Rod Smith. Over the middle, covered by Dexter McLean.
This punt return's just an example of outkicking your coverage. 58 yards on the punt. Watch how far back Hakeem has to go for this. He gets a key block from Dre Bly, number 32, right there. And now he's going to pick up his wide receiver buddy, Tony Horn, 82, working on Ruin. And Hakeem is gone.
And
there's the block, 32 right there. And now he's in the secondary, and
Hakeem never even went into 5th gear.
2nd and 10. Greasy again protected well, and again Rod Smith had a glance off his hand, so he goes to Smith twice over the middle, and it's 3rd down and 10. Well, a look from outside. Beautiful night here in St. Louis, cooling down after a very hot weekend, and the Budweiser Bud 1 airship floating high above the Gateway City, gateway to the west, on the banks of the mighty Mississippi.
I'm just glad we're in the Trans World Dome. If we were in the United Dome, would have probably delayed the game an hour and a half or pushed it back till tomorrow.
Tonight only an hour and 15 on 3rd down and 10. Going deep is Smith. He makes this catch with double coverage and gets it to the 23. So he goes twice to Smith underneath short. He can't make the catch, then goes long with double coverage, and they move the chains all the way into Ram territory, deep into it.
He's working against Dexter McLeon, 21. He's going to get help, McLeon is, from Keith Lyle, 35. That's desire right there. Knowing the ball's thrown just a little bit short, reaching back with his hands to make the catch over the top of Lyle's head. Talk about competing. You drop 2 easy ones, and then you make almost an impossible one.
47 yards on 3rd and 10. Greasy's already thrown for 90 yards in the quarter. He gives the ball to Davis, who swings to the outside, but the Rams string him out, and Fletcher knocks him down. The fire plug at 5'10", 240, London Fletcher. In his 3rd year out of John Carroll, so important in the Ram defense, which last year was overlooked but was ranked 6th in the league.
Fletcher says that the key with Davis is to string him out, just as you said, Al. He's such a dynamic cutback runner that you have to maintain leverage on him and then go after him. Fletcher plays with great leverage. He has to. He's only 5'10", but he plays a lot like number 50 of the Chicago Bears, Mike Singletary.
6th overall last year, Al. First against the rush, only 74.3 yards a game.
2nd and 9 coming across the line with flags down, and the pass is just thrown out of bounds because Todd Collins, the linebacker lined up on the outside, came across the line. Jerry Austin is the referee tonight. There are 2 flags down, 2 separate calls here.
And both of them, I believe, are going to be against Denver.
All right, offside against Collins.
There's Collins jumping off sides. I said the Broncos, I meant the Rams, because they also get a pass interference call or holding in the secondary. Greasy with a smart job of knowing he's got Collins off sides, continuing the play and getting some free yardage.
And that holding call on Dexter McClingan is what results in the automatic first down at the 14-yard line.
Well, any kid above Greasy, as you know, is going to be football savvy.
Yep.
1st and 10 from the 14-yard line. Davis through the middle, and on the final play of the quarter, he takes it to the 13-yard line. So the Broncos deep in Ram territory as the teams will change ends here at the Trans World Dome. End of 1. It's Denver 7, St. Louis 7. And Monday Night Football will return after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
Monday Night Football.
Troy Aikman, and next Monday night we go to the Meadowlands. The New England Patriots, losing yesterday to Tampa Bay, go to the Meadowlands to take on the Jets, coming off their victory over Green Bay.
Sure, Greasy would like to have Shannon Sharp down here.
Shannon in Baltimore from high above with Robert Brooks, the ex-Packer, in the game as a wideout. On 2nd and 10, they give the ball to Davis, and Terrell fights his way to the 8-yard line off a Mark Schlereth block, setting up a 3rd down and 5.
Well, Shanahan on offense in the red zone wants to give the ball to number 30, Terrell Davis. You see him take himself out of the game here, but watch from the ceiling of the Trans World Dome, the blocking up front is excellent. This is a very mobile offensive line, and they get Terrell inside the 10-yard line.
Are we sure Terrell was actually hurt last year?
Well, he's out right now. Olandis Gary is in the game on 3rd down and 5 from the 8-yard line. Greasy under pressure. Sacked at the 14. London Fletcher chases him down. So Davis has to come out for a breather. Gary goes in. Greasy can't find anybody open. Under pressure, and they're forced to settle for a field goal attempt.
Fletcher is a highly motivated young man because he was never drafted. People said he was too small, but his goal is to get 10 tackles a game. That's his short-term goal. His long-term goal is to be like Mike.
Well, he had 138 tackles last year. Not quite 10 a game, but
32-yard attempt for Jason Elam, the 2-time Pro Bowler, is good. And that gives Denver the lead again. Fletcher got the sack, but Elam cashes in for 3. Bronx by 3. What's going on? Maybe it's just a rewrap, but anytime you're working on Terrell Davis's lower extremities, you have to be concerned, at least for the moment.
Yeah, it appears it's his right ankle. Of course, it's his right knee that was operated on.
He had to come out of the game before the last play. Now, after Elam kicks the field goal, it's Jason to boot it from the 30-yard line down to Tony Horn. Horn from the 5. Swinging to the outside, and real good coverage by the Broncos. Their special teams coach Rick Dennison has to be thrilled the way they covered that kickoff against the guy who led the league in kickoff returns last year. And we weren't lying. There's Dennison. Last time we saw Warner, he was on the sidelines. They were checking his hand, and he warmed up. So now he's back in the game for his first play since he threw the interception prior to the Denver drive. And we'll keep an eye on him, obviously. From the 11-yard line, the Rams begin this thrust. 1st and 10. Start with Falk. Nowhere. Buried underneath Kadrez and Traylor. Melissa, what do you know about Terrell Davis?
Al, it looks like it's his left ankle. The trainer has taped it. He's walking around on the sideline with the trainer. He's staying very close to him. That's all we know at this point. We'll update you as soon as we know.
That didn't look like a rewrap. The artist Christo didn't use that much fabric when he enveloped the Pont Neuf.
But you know what they did is they wrapped both his ankles so that the Rams don't know which of the ankles is sore. Brilliant tape job by the trainer down.
Steve Antonopoulos, the trainer, playing the role of Christo. 2nd down and 10.
I love that call, Ben.
And the catch is made up at the 25-yard line by Torrey Holt.
They're feeding him some disinformation.
Well, obviously, there's nothing wrong with Kurt Warner's right hand. He might have jammed his wrist a little bit earlier in the game. This is a real good sign. Out away from pressure, throwing on the run, perfect pass, 1st down for the Rams to get them out from underneath their own goalpost. Using the entire field, stretching that defense of the Broncos.
Now Hakeem lines up in the backfield and then splits out to the left on 1st down from the 25-yard line. Back to the ground. Falk, big hole. He exploits it. Runs by the safety at the 45 into Denver territory. Tackled at the 48-yard line by Ray Crockett after a gain of 27.
Marks has so many toys.
And he's so willing to use them all. Lining Hakeem up in the backfield and then splitting him out. The Broncos are spread out on defense. 1-2 good blocks right up the middle. No middle linebacker. And that's got to be a mistake by Denver. You've got to keep somebody in the middle when Marshall Faulk is still in the backfield.
We didn't get the best shot from the ump cam because play was coming right at him. He was probably afraid he was about to get clocked.
Like a matador.
On the 48-yard line. Warner swings it out. Safety down by Fulton. At the beginning of the telecast, Eric Dickerson talking about the Rams trying to balance their offense a little bit more. Take a look at that. Last year in the 3 playoff games, 90% of the yardage gained by the Rams came through the air. Their longest run was 11 yards over 3 games. Now in the first quarter tonight, plus what just happened here with Marshall Faulk, they're up to 26 yards. They were -1. Faulk just ran for 27. So until that moment, there had been a tremendous unbalance. So is disbalance a word, Dennis?
Well, there might be a disbalance, but it's balancing on the fulcrum of the Vince Lombardi Trophy, which resides here.
2nd down and 6. It's caught at the 29-yard line by Torrey Holt. And that's a 1st down.
Well, the key for the Rams is if they can get in threat with the running game with Faulk, then they'll get man-to-man coverage on the outside. A little play action roll here again by Warner, and look at this sharp route to the outside, and the Rams are in business. Torrey Holt with the catch this time in front of Ray Crockett. But Martz doesn't matter, doesn't care if it's disbalanced or unbalanced. He's going to throw that ball.
From the 30-yard line, Warner. Now the protection finally breaks down because the secondary did such a great job, and Mike Lodish will get a gift sack. And you can credit that sack to the secondary, the Denver secondary doing its job and providing enough time for Lodish to get in there. Sunday, a big television event. Gary Shandling will be hosting the 52nd annual Primetime Emmy Awards live right here on ABC. Dennis Miller up for an Emmy.
Jeez, you're kidding me out.
Yes.
You know, Al, I'm standing here doing a game with Dennis Miller, and all I can think about is Gary Shandling.
Me too. Second down and 12. And that is Ricky Prohl making the catch at the 22-yard line. Billy Jenkins.
They're going to wave this one off as a
They're going to wave this off. They're going to wave it off.
Yep. And Prohl's not happy about it.
Well, the Rams offense last year, Isaac Bruce, Torrey Holt, no matter who they went to. Ricky Prohl, of course, that catch coming in the NFC Championship game against Tampa.
That's the big one.
Yep, that took him to the Super Bowl. This is going to be challenged right now. We have a challenge by Mike Martz. Remember, you get two challenges a game.
Is challenging the play on the field that was ruled incomplete.
So Jerry Austin will go over to the monitor. When he puts the headset on, the 90-second clock will start to tick. You take a look here.
That's a catch under the new rules because he had control of the ball before the ball hit the ground. Last year, that's an incomplete pass, but according to Jerry Seaman, this play looks a lot like what happened to Tampa last year in this very arena.
Well, the question now becomes, Emmanuel clearly had possession and the ball touched the ground. I'm looking at this here, Dan, and I don't know that Prohl, I think the whole question is, does he have complete possession of the ball before the ball touches the ground? That is the call here, or the question that Jerry Austin's going to have to decide.
He's got it there, and it looked like it might have slipped out of his hand just at the very last minute when it did reach the ground. It's going to be a tough one for the officials. This is what happened last year.
Now, last year, take a look at this. This was the key play with Sean King throwing to Bert Emanuel, and because the ball touched the ground, it was ruled an incomplete pass. It was a huge call, as you recall. This year, that exact play is a complete pass. This is a little bit different because the question is, I mean, clearly Emanuel had control. The question is, does Prohl have control? And I don't think so.
But, you know, in that picture, you know,
it's not in control of the receiver, and it does touch the ground. It's an incomplete pass. St. Louis is charged with a timeout.
I think the difference is that when Manuel had the ball, it was closer to his body. This ball that Prohl had to really stretch out, and when he brought it down to the ground, it was clear he didn't have complete control.
And the ball was wobbling around. They got that call right. That costs the Rams a timeout, because when you challenge and the challenge is not successful, that costs you a timeout. So now as play resumes, it is 3rd down and 12.
They got that call right, but when you look back on that Emmanuel thing, that rule was wrong-headed because obviously.
On 3rd and 12, wide open at the 15-yard line is Torrey Holt, and Holt takes it inside the 5.
Torrey Holt picking up where he left off in the postseason last year when he had 20 catches.
You know, and I think, I like that challenge because it gave the Rams a chance to rest a little bit on offense. Their offensive line had been giving up a lot of pressure. That time Warner had a lot of time to throw. And boy, it's beautiful when Holt or Akeem or Bruce gets their hands on the ball in the secondary. And how many times do we see him so wide open? Even the ump cam couldn't keep up with that one.
And not since Montana has any quarterback hit so many people in complete stride. They don't have to hesitate for a millisecond.
Quick count, cutting it back is Falk, touchdown. They come up in 4 wides. Quick snap. Falk starts right, goes left. Ian Gold blows the tackle. Touchdown, St. Louis.
Well, Ian Gold has never seen a back like Marshall Falk. The play was designed to go off right tackle. It ends up going off of left tackle. Only Marshall Falk can make that play right there. Goes into the end zone very quietly.
That's the new bob and weave, I suppose. Point after, tacked on by Wilkins.
Everybody's worried about me using profanity. The only F word I might say a lot this year is Falk.
I ain't worried. Good start to this one. 8:53 to the half. 14-10. St. Louis.
Line up. Now starting at 8, 7 Central, 2 guys and a girl. Ow, ow. Look for some fancy new moves from this returning champ. Fridays on ABC.
Mike Martz, a head coach for the first time ever at the age of 49, born in South Dakota, grew up in Southern California. Longtime assistant both in college and professional ranks, and his team has the lead as the kickoff is down by O'Neal in the end zone. Monday Night Football is being brought to you by Budweiser, with a crisp, clean, refreshing taste you'll find in no other beer. Avaya, communication without boundaries. Charles Schwab. When we created a smarter kind of investment firm, we also created a smarter kind of investor. And by Visa, the preferred card of the NFL. Visa, it's everywhere NFL fans want to be. A little ragtime in St. Louis on opening night. Landis Gary starts in the backfield, so Terrell Davis is still on the bench. They swing Gary out to the right. The pass goes to McCaffrey. That's a gain of 9 as we check in with Melissa Stark again. Melissa?
Al, the last thing Terrell Davis needed was another injury. Now he has one. He has twisted his left ankle, and his return is questionable.
Oh, boy.
Especially on the turf, though. It's hard to read into exactly what's happening so far, but if you do want to get him off any surface, it's this one with a tweaked ankle.
He's off to a great start. He had 34 yards in just 9 carries. Looked good.
And now Gary, who averaged almost 100 yards per game as a rookie, struts his stuff and picks up the first down to the 34. Another kid out of the University of Georgia. That's the same school, of course, that produced Terrell Davis. And Davis is 3 years before his injury, as you can see, 96 through 98, including the 2 Super Bowl years. He had the most rushing yards over 3 consecutive seasons than anybody in the history of the league, including our man Eric Dickerson, whose name now is emblazoned on the Ring of Honor here in St. Louis. Eric, born in 1983, died in 1987. Those are his years as a Ram, of course, in Los Angeles. First and 10 from the 34. Greasy buys a ton of time and goes deep for Smith, and it's batted away. Dexter McClean saving a touchdown.
Just a matter of that ball being a little bit underthrown, hanging up too long in the air, allowed McCleon, who has good makeup speed here. Smith got him beat right there, but this ball's going to hang too long. Smith will slow down just a bit. There's the catch-up speed, the right-hand spike. Beautiful play by Dexter McCleon.
The very definition of McCleon's duties right there.
You know, he came close. He could have tried to pick that one off. He had that type of makeup speed.
Second and 10 from the 34-yard line. Draw, Gary, big hole. Gets into the secondary and is tackled close to a first down by Keith Lyle.
Well, not bad when Terrell does go down to have Gary come in. And, you know, it's amazing is they got a 6th and a 4th on those 2 draft picks out of Georgia. 6th round and 4th round for Davis and Gary.
Howard Griffith, number 29, with a key block on this play. Watch him take care of London Fletcher right there. That got Gary the first down.
First and 10 at the 44-yard line. McCaffrey in motion. Back to Gary they go. Keeping it simple, picks up a couple. Gains 2 to the 46-yard line with 6:40 to go in the half. And if you haven't heard, Charlie Sheen is going to join the cast of Spin City. So it's Charlie and Heather Locklear on an all-new season of Spin City Wednesdays this fall, Dennis.
Well,
right here.
Heather used to be married to Tommy Lee. She's used to dealing with incorrigibles, but Charlie's a good kid. I've met him, and let's hope he's the comeback player of the year in the sitcom field.
Wednesday night this fall here on ABC. Rams up 14-10. Second down 8. Greasy improvising. Looking, throws back across his body on Elway, and then Rod Smith won't handle it. I say a la Elway because we're so used to seeing John go to one side of the field and throw back to the other side of the field.
But nobody's a la Elway.
Right.
It's impossible to compare anybody, and I mean anybody, maybe except Jeff George, with the arm strength of John Elway. That's the difference on this play. Elway does not hang that ball up in the air to Smith. He zips it a little bit harder, but it's a great effort by Greasy to find Smith. Smith's got to make that catch in traffic, though.
And there's an official booth edict. Other than arm strength, we can never mention Jeff George and John Elway in the same sentence.
Greasy trying to emulate Elway. And Denver has to take a timeout prior to a 3rd and 8. That's upcoming with 5:58 to the half. St. Louis 14, Denver 10.
2000 kickoff?
Well, it looks like we picked up where we left off last year with great football with Tennessee and Buffalo last night, and Vinny Testaverde and Brett Favre going at each other. A lot of young, good quarterbacks. So it was fun.
Now, when you see a team like the St. Louis Rams come out of nowhere and then win a Super Bowl, what does that say about the NFL?
Well, it says a lot about Dick Vermeil and the job that he did last year, but it says we got a league with tremendous balance and tremendous competition. I think that's great for the fans.
Thanks very much. Enjoy the game.
Thank you, Melissa. It does say a lot about Dick Vermeil, a guy who we haven't really talked about tonight, except to mention that he retired last year. Go Rams, emblazoned on that skyscraper here in St. Louis. But Vermeil, he didn't wait very long, Dan. As you'll recall, less than 48 hours later, he said, I'm done, and Mike Martz took over. It was a seamless transition.
It was one of the all-time great comebacks for a coach in the history of the game. Congratulations, Dick.
2nd down and 8 from the 34-yard line. Again, Davis on the shelf. His return is questionable. The catch is made by Howard Griffith, and he takes it to the 25-yard line. Tackled there by Mike Jones.
Al, do you think Vermeil might have any second thoughts? It's such an armada over here.
Yes, I do, Dennis. I really do, even though Dick would say no. I think he made the decision maybe a little too rapidly. Not that he wouldn't have made the same call a week later, but I would have preferred to see Dick wait a few days, assess it. Instead, he made it very, very quickly.
Very few can go out with a Super Bowl trophy.
Even less with 2.
From the 25, Greasy throws, slant to Smith, and Ron Smith takes it into the end zone.
Beautiful. Wow, Greasy looks great.
Well, he looks very confident, doesn't he? You know, I think the running plays, he's carried the ball twice for 26 yards. He's got a touchdown. I think that's given him confidence. He knows he can get it done. He's making the right decisions. He finds Smith getting inside Todd Light there. Light cannot let a receiver get inside him so close to the goal line. And there's the strength of Rod Smith and the desire to get in the end zone. Beautiful play.
Elam for the point after. So Rod Smith for the touchdown. Rod has 88 receiving yards tonight. Rod Smith has had 3,000-yard seasons in a row on his way to a 4th. 3:50 left in the half. Broncos go 80 yards in a tick over 5 minutes. Rod Smith pays it off. Horn is back to receive. Jason Elam to kick off. Good first half. Teams marching up and down the field. Denver leading 17-14. Horn from the 8. Back up to the 23-yard line. And that's where the Rams will begin this next drive. Kurt Warner, 9 of 13. Again, Terrell Davis with an ankle injury. His return, as Melissa told us, is questionable. Puts the towel around his neck, and Broncos have to wonder about him. At least next week, he goes back on the familiar grass surface of Mile High Stadium. But Olandis Gary, who did such a brilliant job last year, is the guy who will once again have to pick up the slack tonight.
It's a two-dog night for the Broncos.
1st and 10 from the 23-yard line. Warner under pressure, then throws and a little bit behind Robert Holcomb. Well, guys, we've done 3 preseason games, but there's nothing like the real deal. What an atmosphere here tonight.
God, it's charged, man. We've had a great time here in St. Louis. I want to thank the people over at Budweiser, August Busch, Tony Pontera. They've treated us real nicely, gave us a nice commemorative gift right before we went on tonight. They've been real classy, especially since I was on TV Guide last week under the auspices of Miller Time. I thought that was pretty open-minded to them.
You cover the earth, don't you?
Great game, huh, Danny?
Yeah, I liked Mama Campese's last night, too.
2nd down and 10 from the 23-yard line. I start plugging hotels, but not till next week. This is caught up at the 35-yard line by Marshall Faulk for a 1st down. Tackled by Ian Gold.
You know, Kurt Warner just loves to be blitzed. He is a more effective quarterback when he is pressured because his eyes light up. He knows he's got a chance to make a big play, and he's a counter puncher who's looking for the knockout, not just to respond to a blitz, but to really put him out of their misery.
And Shanahan and Martz have definitely placed this one in the heavyweight division. You've got 2 great offensive minds going at it here.
Toss, Faulk, to the 38-yard line. He got in behind Ryan Tucker, almost pushed him out of the way, and tried to cut it back. Aerial coverage tonight provided by the Bud 1 airship. Bud 1 airship high above the Trans World Dome here in St. Louis. Trevor Price is still down on the turf, so an injury timeout here for the Bronco defensive lineman, their #1 pick out of Clemson in 1997, and a guy who has really developed into one of the premier defensive tackles in the National Football League.
One of Shanahan's big worries in the preseason is they were giving up 5.2 yards per carry to the opposition. They certainly can't afford to lose Trevor Price for any amount of time.
He's so unique as a defensive tackle. You saw the fact he had those 13 sacks last year. Speaking of sacks, we got a hurting Cowboy, don't we?
We have Troy Aikman, who suffered yesterday his 9th concussion, the 7th he has suffered as a Dallas Cowboy, and there's no word as to his availability just yet for the Arizona game on Sunday, Dan. They're just going to evaluate him day to day. Randall Cunningham, who backs him up, was also injured yesterday, sprained thumb, but appears to be okay.
Take a look at the injury, and it's just a head knocking one where he ran actually into his own man. 2nd and 6.
Harold Hasselback comes in to replace him now as Price goes to the sideline, and a little flip out to Hakeem. Marshall Faulk took it and then flipped it with Hakeem taking it initially, and then he flips it back to Marshall Faulk. Down he goes, but gets it away. Backward pass, and then Faulk gets taken down by Eric Brown.
This is from Martz's surreal package.
Well, this is an old play that Don Coryell invented. We used to give it to Buford McGee. He'd pitch it back to Gary Anderson. It worked a little bit better in San Diego than that one there, but they still got the first down.
And they can't get the snap off before the 2-minute warning. So 2 minutes left in a real good first half. Opening night, year 31 of Monday Night Football. Denver by 3.
Lineup now starting at 9:30, 8:30 Central.
Hi, son. We'll talk later.
Look for Madigan men to make a strong contribution to ABC's new Friday night.
Do we accompany this with Watermelon Man? Is that what we do?
I didn't think my plugs were that obvious.
That's when you had a full beard. You kind of looked like a long-lost relative.
NFL bloopers and a bio blast on Ed McCaffrey coming up on the Toyota halftime show as Warner falling backward throws and hits Hakeem. Play is dead. So this is all for naught for Buckley to save his breath. Gain of 5 at the 48-yard line.
And Buckley's got to hustle back now because the Rams are going with a no-huddle offense.
They have 2 timeouts remaining. They're at the 48 on 2nd down and 5. Warner out of the shotgun. And that is caught at the 43. Great move by Hakeem. And he takes it to the 33. As I mentioned, NFL bloopers and the McCaffrey bio blast coming up on the Toyota halftime show.
You
First
cannot
and 10 at the 34.
Al, you just can't miss a tackle like Eric Brown did on that play.
Bruce. Hard for 2 guys to miss a tackle. Jimmy Spencer is right there, along with Billy Jenkins.
See how hard the turf is even after plays are over. Just as they go down, it bounces out.
Timeout, Rams, their second.
We were down on this before the game, and it's just, well, for a neophyte, for somebody who hasn't been in a lot of stadiums, I'm just amazed that these people end up playing on this and not more people get hurt. It is unbelievable, the adhesion. I can't imagine the rug burns you get.
There's the QB comparison tonight. 133 yards for Greasy, 144 for Warner. Bryan with a touchdown pass. Warner had that 1 interception, which was a deflected pass.
I think we'll see some remnants of a rug burn right there.
I don't know. That's Mike Schlereth. That might be another surgery.
Schlereth has been scoped more than a redneck, abducted by aliens.
2nd down and 5. And that is caught at the 8-yard line by Torrey Holt.
This is the staple of Martz's offense. It's the slant route. It's the post pattern. Warner gets back in rhythm and fires a strike.
No huddle, 4 wideouts. Warner almost hit from behind, but gets it away. Touchdown, Ricky Prohl.
rush. He doesn't even smell it.
They are a fast break basketball team.
And the guy that he was impervious to was Ray Crockett coming on the corner blitz, but he's so light he's not heavy enough to make the sounds of footprints. So Warner didn't feel him, he didn't see him, he didn't hear him.
Warner is downright contemplative in that pocket. That's got, in addition to all his other strengths, that's a great one.
Wilkins tacks on the extra point. Ricky Prohl did not have a single touchdown reception in the regular season last year. He had that big one in the playoffs. Tonight he's on the board again. And St. Louis has the lead, 21-17 on the pass to Ricky Prohl. 38 seconds remaining in the half.
Now let's go back and take a look at this post pattern by Warner. Gets the ball away, up high for Holt. He catches it in rhythm in front of Jimmy Spencer. That got the Rams down there. And when the Rams are operating like this, they're just so fast. Even Warner sets up quickly, gets the ball out to Ricky Prohl.
Torrey Holt with some beautiful work there in the middle. He had to know the hit was coming. It shows a lot for a second-year man, doesn't he?
Yeah, this is where a quarterback really earns his money, and Kurt has got a lot of money to earn. Coming off of what he did last year, he deserves every penny. He hit 6 of 7 on that drive for 65 yards.
Nice to see the right guy get it.
Deltha O'Neal to run back the Wilkins kick. The #1 draft choice, the rookie from the University of California, gets hammered at the 25-yard line. First guy to pop him was Leonard Little. Second big special teams play for Little tonight. And now with 30 seconds remaining and 2 timeouts, Broncos will have it at about the 24-yard line.
There's a shot by Miller, and then Matt Bowen comes in, the rookie out of Iowa. Deltha O'Neal, the rookie out of Cal, gets a shot from Little there, and then wearing number 27 is Matt Bowen.
Delta's got to take a little hint from Tony Horn and Oz Hakeem. You got to pick a spot and you got to go.
Little hesitation there really cost him physically.
From the 24, it's Gary on the ground, and the Broncos appear content to run out the clock, at least by calling that play and not calling a timeout, and they will run the clock out and go into the locker room down by 4. Miami against Washington, Oregon and Wisconsin, and Missouri against Clemson are the regional college games coming your way on ABC this Saturday.
How about them Ducks?
How about this game? Good half. Mike Shanahan and the Broncos going back to their locker room. Rams lead 21-17. Let's go to Melissa Stark.
Let's see. Coach Shanahan with Kurt Warner doing what he does best.
We don't seem to have the answer right now. Hopefully we can make a couple adjustments in halftime and play a little bit better in the second half.
With Terrell Davis out, how does that change the game plan?
It really does. Orlandis is going to carry the bulk of the load, and if he goes down, we got Mike Anderson. Orlandis has proven he can play, and hopefully we'll have a good second half.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay, Melissa, so at the half, the Rams, the defending champions, leading the Denver Broncos 21-17. The Toyota halftime show with classic NFL bloopers and a bio blast of Ed McCaffrey as we come back after this message from the NFL and a word from our ABC stations.
This is Kevin Carter and DeMarco Farr of the St. Louis Rams.
Good.
Today, they are helping the United Way at a community outing.
Back.
Luckily, they are food experts.
That's too far.
Experts at food.
What is this? I don't know.
Kevin Carter and DeMarco Farr.
Watch your thumbs. Eat up.
Experts at food.
NFL.com, your source for game day coverage.
This is a big game. We got to take it one play at a time. Win on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Exclusive behind-the-scenes access.
Let's go.
Up to the minute.
Time show brought to you by Toyota. Go for it every day. very good first half on opening night here in St. Louis with the Rams leading Denver 21-17. You know, when you go to a stadium and they put up a blooper reel on the big screen, the way the crowd responds, it's always very special. So we thought we would take a look at some of the all-time bloopers in the history of the National Football League, as narrated by Chris Berman.
Football follies. You couldn't see him listening to games on the radio, but then the gun went off. And TV got involved. Pro football is so tough. How come sometimes it looks like slapstick comedy? The old parks were fun. Remember Buffalo's cyclone fence? That pesky little hedge at Tulane Stadium. And those rolled up Viking tarps. Round 2 coming up. Lesson 1. Don't stray into enemy territory. I said don't stray into enemy territory. Or even your own. I said or even your own. Celebrating, huh? That'll teach you. I guess this is friendly fire.
You're a lot uglier in person, man. You look good on camera, though.
So which is which of the eclipses of the moon? A blooper is a physical mistake. A blunder is a mental mistake. A folly is both. Timeout. Timeout. I gotta get out of here. I gotta get out of here. Forget it. Who said special teams were so special?
I'm not getting funny yet, but you remember what we talked about, okay?
Remember Shoeless Joe from Hannibal Moe? Here's his cousin. 2 shoes, bad wheels. He needs only 1 shoe. Though he was born a long, long time ago, your mother should know. Sorry, Beatles. I'm Chris Berman.
And on our Toyota halftime show, coming up when we come back, a very unique look at the great Bronco wide receiver from Stanford University, Easy Ed McCaffrey. Leading 21-17. Ed McCaffrey, the great Denver wide receiver, 2 catches in the first half for 18 yards. Has caught a lot of big balls over the years. We thought we'd take a unique look in this bio blast of the Broncos number 87.
Three boys running around keeps you pretty busy. Sometimes I wonder if I take harder hits out on the field or at home. You have to protect yourself when you're sitting on the couch. A lot of mac and cheese. A lot of mac and cheese. Peanut butter and jellies, cereal. We have the end zone O's, honey-crusted halibut. There's a bunch of different kinds of mustard. Spicy brown is my favorite of the mustards. There's root beer and the orange cream. They're both good. Then there was the cereal, which hopefully will be back on your shelf soon. For a while there, I was looking at being out of the league. I think that's really when I started having fun playing football. I really feel younger than I did in the beginning of my career. You need somebody to believe in you and give you an opportunity to play. And I found that here in Denver. Oh, I'm going to play till they kick me to the curb, but hopefully I can still play a few more years. Coach Shanahan, if you're watching.
Ed McCaffrey and his Denver Broncos, Super Bowl champs in 97 and 98, but trailing tonight by 4. Back with the second half after this.
Come on. Hey, looking for a ride here. Ooh, that's nice. Come to Papa. Oh, man. What is that? A Corolla? Oh. Ooh, Daddy likes. Oh, baby.
The redesigned 2001 Corolla. It's more fun than you think.
Oh, well. Hello there. Whoa. Oh, every time.
The Toyota halftime show has been brought to you by Toyota. Go for it every day. We'll return with the second half kickoff after this from our ABC station.
Hey, listen up. It's
Seamus. Windy day is not the day for Satchin. Seamus. The road is always shorter when two people walk it. Seamus. It's completely empty. Empty suitcase, full heart.
To figure out what he's talking about,
You make these up.
Seamus. Watch Madigan Man, part of ABC's brand new Friday.
What about Wednesday? Yeah, I'd put a sitcom in that time slot. I think it was...
So anyway, your show's being cancelled.
Cancelled? I just bought a house. You can't...
Look at these guys. Network TV programmers. They decide what we watch and when we watch it.
You can't go in there.
Hang on a second. Who needs them? TiVo. TV your way.
To your body, it's a luxury car. To the elements, it's an SUV. To your peace of mind, it's a Volvo. The new all-wheel drive cross-country.
Premiere Magazine calls Almost Famous the movie of the year. Us Weekly says it's almost too good to be true.
You're one of us.
4 stars, hilarious and exuberant.
I never said I'm a golden god.
I am a golden god! From Cameron Crowe, the creator of Jerry Maguire.
I have to go home.
You are home.
Almost Famous, rated R. Special sneak preview this Saturday.
Weather and traffic on the 7s, weekdays beginning at 5 a.m. This is an ABC 7 News Brief. Now here's John Drury.
Good evening. A suburban woman is stabbed to death in her car. Tonight, police have a suspect in custody, and her relation to the victim has many people shocked. Also searching for the cause of a fiery one-car wreck that killed 6 people. Plus, an open microphone causes some controversy for George W. Bush as he campaigns in the suburbs. And the Sox look to extend their winning streak. We've got the highlights. Join Kathy Brock and me after the game.
Some highlights of a first half. That was a very entertaining first half, Dan.
You know, the thing about it is it's what we advertised. It's what both these teams promised, to be able to come out here and play at such a high level of intensity. Very few penalties, very few turnovers, and just a great effort.
You know, you get the yellow jersey if you lead the Tour de France. I guess if you complete 3 preseason games and you graduate, you get the yellow jacket.
This thing's as big as home plate from old Comiskey. Now, here's what I thought about the first. Hey, Skittles. What were we talking about?
That's a good question.
Great first half. Having a lot of fun. All right, baby. Holden, Marlon, love you.
I'm the only one allowed to say baby. You know that. ABC's Monday Night Football is being brought to you by Nissan Driven. By Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper makes the world taste better. Frost Brewed Coors Light. Tap the Rockies. And Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of the Super Bowl. All right, the quarterbacks in the first half, total of 38 points. And there's the quarterback comparison, Dan.
You know, the numbers for Greasy, very impressive. These numbers you would expect from Kurt Warner. Is off to a good start in this season, but Greasy has shown that he can do it in the air. He's got a couple of rushes. He's been in the end zone for a touchdown, but he's just performing like Brian Greasy when he played back at the University of Michigan, like a champ.
Jeff Wilkins to kick off. Number 1 draft choice. Delta O'Neal drops the ball and then picks it up at the 5-yard line. Escapes the first would-be tackler and then takes it up to the 16-yard line. Rich Cody couldn't make the tackle. He takes it out to the 16-yard line. So that's the way the second half begins as we take a look at Kurt Warner in the first half.
Well, firing one over the middle to Torrey Holtz, who's had a great first half, and then oblivious to the pass rush from the blind side, gets him the touchdown to Prohl. But Greasy, this is his first touchdown of the night. He did it on the ground with from 8 yards out, and then finding Rod Smith over the middle. We got a great game underway.
Again, if you joined us late, Terrell Davis, injured ankle, had carried the ball 9 times tonight. Return is questionable. And it's Landis Gary who takes his place and takes that swing pass up to the 25-yard line for a pickup of 8.
And really the difference between Terrell Davis and Landis Gary is Davis is a slasher. He will cut back more. But what Gary brings you is 215 pounds of power. He is a thumper. He's going to try and run you over.
Denver had a very impressive drive after Terrell left the game and Gary came in, so there's not much drop-off there.
Take a look at how the Broncos have the edge in rushing, and of course the Rams have the edge in passing.
Rams allowing more yards in the first half than in any first half of any game last year, and Gary gets strung out and taken out of bounds by Devin Bush. Halftime stats, plays are even. Rams had that one turnover. That was the Warner pick. First down's close to even.
And this is the first penalty against Denver tonight. The Rams have been penalized just once. So this is a very well played first game of the season for both teams. But that is a bad time to have this type of penalty. Starting the second half backed up to begin with, and now a holding penalty pushes you back even further.
That makes it second down 13 from the 14-yard line.
Shanahan usually reserves that look for Al Davis.
He's got a different look for Davis. Greasy throws. That's caught at the 19-yard line by Howard Griffith. And it's up to the 28-yard line. Or 27-yard line, close to a first down.
And you know, Dennis, you talked about the quarterback going through his progression of reads. Greasy's got his head downfield. There's one, now 2. So in this case, just 2 receivers to this side. He found that the Rams were backing way off Griffith, and that got him the first down. That's going through your progression of reads, and that's the way Greasy has to operate. He can't ad-lib like Elway. He's got to stay within the framework of the offense.
End around. Rod Smith to the 35-yard line. Pickup of 8 behind Neal and Chamberlain. Those 2 guys leading the way for him.
Boy, Shanahan cut an impressive figure when we met with him the other day. Just all aspects of it. Obviously an offensive genius. Oh, got a replay here.
Well, this is part of his genius, is coming out with an end around and picking up a nice gain of 8 yards to Rod Smith. He gets out of bounds without any damage. And they're rolling. Great situation, 2nd and 2.
I also like the way he was talking about how he straight talks with veterans and just tells them what the deal is. He was impressive on a whole lot of levels.
Gary, first down. Gain of 7 to the 42, tackled by the middle linebacker London Fletcher.
Showed you one of the similarities between Terrell Davis and Landis Gary. Watch the cut here from the ump cam, and it's Ole right by him. But there's the power of Gary dragging 2 Ram tacklers.
Boy, how does a kid like Fletcher end up a free agent? It's just the size, I guess, huh? Because he hits everything that moves.
First and 10 at the 42 on the opening drive of the 3rd quarter. Greasy fires over the middle. It's caught by McCaffrey, who breaks loose and is finally taken down at the 23-yard line. Well, we just met Ed at halftime. You got a chance to see what kind of a guy he is, and so did the Ram defense as he picks up a 35-yard reception.
This offensive line for the Broncos doing a great job because McCaffrey has got to get away from Todd Light, work a move to the outside, find the hole in the middle, use those long arms to make a nice catch there. but Greasy had a lot of time to throw this pass because that offensive line gave him great protection.
Great skills shown by McCaffrey on that play. The great head fake, the great hands.
Yeah, he showed it all.
His whole retinue.
Robert Brooks, the ex-Packer, who was out of football last year, was the man in motion. Big goal for Gary, but he takes it down to the 17-yard line. Tackled by London Fletcher.
Robert Brooks better watch doing that Lambeau leap in Mile High this year. He might end up in Euchre's lap.
Tell you what, this is an impressive drive for the Broncos. Remember, they had to overcome a penalty that pushed them back inside the 20-yard line. But this offensive line has taken control. They're pounding the ball straight at the Rams and giving Greasy time to throw.
Jones, Schler, Nalen, Neal, Lexus, everybody showing up there.
Second down and 4. Greasy fumbles and recovers it himself at the 19-yard line.
You know, last year he had 16 fumbles. That led the league. Not a stat you want to lead the league in. Whenever there's a fumble between the quarterback and the center, the blame or the discredit goes to the quarterback.
Well, not surprising. The ball might be slippery for a guy named Greasy.
Third down, 6. 3rd and 6 at the 19-yard line. Greasy swings it out. Gary turns, but nowhere to go. Stopped for a loss. Forced to kick a field goal. Fletcher and Collins wrapped them up.
You know, we talk so much about the Rams' speed on offense, but their defense is as quick as any in the league. Peter Junta, the defensive coordinator, saw 4 Rams there keep Landis-Gary from picking up the first down. Well-coordinated defense. Todd Collins is going to be the first guy to fly by there. That turns Gary back into the inside, and there's our man, London Fletcher.
38-yard attempt for Jason Elam. And that's a chip shot for him. He and Tom Dempsey share the NFL record with 63-yarders. 9:19 left in the third. It's now a 1-point game.
Maybe something a little darker. The navy.
Mike Martz, who did such a magnificent job last year as the offensive coordinator. He had been with the Rams as an assistant coach when they were in Los Angeles and then had moved here in '95, then went to Washington, and then last year did such a great job that when Vermeil retired, he was the no-brainer choice as successor. His team up by 1, Elam to kick off early in the third quarter. And it's an angled bouncing ball that is lateraled back from the 15-yard line and taken by Tony Horn. Back up to the 28. 9:08 remaining in the third. A little pushy, a little shovey. 21-20 St. Louis. PN, and then on Monday, our circus moves to the Meadowlands where the New England Patriots take on the New York Jets, coming off their win yesterday against Green Bay. Mike Shanahan takes his team home, where Dan Reeves brings the Falcons to Denver next Sunday in week 2. Now the Rams have it from the 27-yard line, and they begin this drive with Marshall Faulk going next to nowhere with 9 minutes remaining in the third, and of course with a little rugby scrum going on. That's Bill Romanowski at the bottom of the pile. What else is new?
Surprise, surprise. Romo makes a habit of this, getting into the other players' minds and roughing it up a little bit. And the all-time talkers.
He and Marshall Faulk were the guys duking it out. There's Brian Greasy, and of course Daddy Bob is here, and he's with Melissa.
Al, Bob Greasy is the only quarterback in the Hall of Fame whose son is also an NFL quarterback. You're here as a fan, but you're never really just a fan. You have to be evaluating him. What do you think?
Well, you know, I'm not in control, so I don't like that. I'm a little nervous. I think he's doing great.
Bye-bye. Well, so are the Rams right now as Marshall Faulk takes the pass and goes all the way for a touchdown.
Better tell Papa Greasy he's got to make it quick on those comments. This is a pinball machine.
Kurt Warner making this This looked like Arena League football, and why not?
Well, if the Broncos are not going to tackle, the Rams are going to score. And the great thing is the teamwork between the receivers. That time, Isaac Bruce got out in front, knocked down Terrell Buckley, and let Marshall Faulk go in untouched from 72 out.
Well, Bruce is a lethal downfield blocker.
Wilkins tacks on the extra point, and just like that, and how many times last year with the Rams did you say just like that? And we said it a lot in postseason, and we said it a lot at the end of the Super Bowl on the pass to Bruce. There goes Faulk all the way to the end zone. 28-20 Rams. O'Neal's going to run it out from the corner of the end zone. Flag comes in at the end of the play. Brings it back out to the 17-yard line.
Well, it takes a while, but Delta's not making the best decisions back there on these kicks tonight. First game, though, you got to give them some room to breathe. But when you're in the corner, in the end zone like that, probably best just to take it out to the 20.
Yeah, very often you'll get stopped inside the 20, as was the case here. And then insult to injury.
Number 28, their number 2 man. Half the distance to the goal.
Pushes him back even farther.
One thing Mike Martz told us, he wanted to get Marshall Faulk outside. You see him out here in motion there. Gets a block from Torrey Holt there. Then both Ryan Tucker and Adam Timmerman are out front. And then it's all over from here. Watch the block here at the very end as Isaac Bruce will take down Terrell Buckley right there. Here it is. There's too much speed.
I know the red zone's at the other end of the field. Greasy's in a bad zone right here.
Crowd in full voice. Gary from the 8 only to the 10.
I don't suppose there's a name for this zone, is there, Dan?
Well, some teams call this zone when you're on offense the green zone because green means go. We're backed up. We got to get going out of here. Now, there's some teams that refer to the red zone as the green zone because in this day and age, you know, money and everything. Green is the color of money. The end zone's the bank, and that's where they want to go.
Pay dirt.
2nd and 8 from the 10. Greasy stepping away and then goes down. London Fletcher knocks him down after he was chased out of the pocket by Kevin Carter.
Like Texas A&M, the 12th man just showed up. Here comes the crowd.
Great move by Kevin Carter. Here he is, 93. Jumping to the inside. Alandis Gary can't make the block. But what do you expect with an athlete like Kevin Carter and London Fletcher there to clean it up as Carter forces Greasy out of the pocket?
Carter led the league in sacks last year with 17.
Profession after football pharmacist. Good, he can help cure all the headaches he's causing.
3rd and 12. And the Broncos, with all of the noise in this building, will try to gather themselves. And to do that, they take a timeout.
Shanahan always on top of it.
6:48 left in the 3rd. The Bronx pinned deep and down by 8 on opening night. It is 3rd down for the Broncos. The 52nd annual Emmy Awards coming your way Sunday at 8 o'clock here on ABC, hosted by Gary Shandling. This crowd in full voice now as Bob Greasy is under center. Brian Greasy, who wishes Bob Greasy was under center right now. And now the crowd is so loud, Greasy is asking for the official to warn the crowd that if they persist, a timeout could be charged against the Rams. This was a rule that went into effect years ago. Everybody made a huge deal of it. It has rarely come into effect through the years.
And might I add, one of the oddest rules I've ever heard of. I mean, don't you want to elicit this response?
Third down. This is interesting because the Rams who could conceivably be forced to use a timeout the fans are being exhorted by the defense.
And the Broncos were penalized on that play for delay of game. So the 12th man is doing their job.
3rd down and 12. Flags all over the joint.
Wow. This is such an impossible situation. You know, a lot of teams will go to the shotgun in this situation so the quarterback can go to a silent count. But Greasy doesn't like the shotgun. He'd rather take the ball from under center. So what you're having here is no way that any of his players can hear the snap count.
I think the reason you're seeing so many flags is everybody's having to communicate in semaphore. That's how loud it is in here.
66,000 strong. And they're going to be just as loud now.
3rd down and 16. Greasy fires deep and wide open at the 30-yard line is Byron Chamberlain. And so with the din, the deafening noise, a flag is down back at the goal line. As you look at Greasy here going back, it's going to be against the Rams.
Unnecessary roughness from the end of the play, 15 yards.
Unnecessary roughness was the call against the Rams, tacked on at the end of the play.
You talk about poise. Brian Greasy has poise. That is an incredible play by Greasy with the play action pass to get back there and throw that ball as coolly as he did. This kid is coming of age right before our very eyes.
I don't know where Bob is, but you know he's beaming because the kid hung in there like a rock.
And they're going to call it on Lyle for grabbing them by the back of the jersey and yanking them down. I don't know about that call.
No, I think the call was at the line of scrimmage between the defensive line and the offensive line. The play on Lyle, that was a clean play.
Yeah, what could you call him for there? A neck wedgie?
1st down and 10 at the 45 of the Rams. Gary gains 1.
Tackled by 52, Mike Jones.
Brian Greasy last year taking over for the departed Elway and talked about what he learned from his 1999 experience.
No matter how much talent you have or how smart you are or how far you can throw the ball, you have to have the experience of playing in the game. And last year was rough on me and it was tough on our team. But I think that I went back and I looked at it critically and I told myself, I said, hey, you know, you can be a better player than you were. And as long as you learn from the mistakes that you made, and that's what I've tried to do.
Coming of age tonight, at least by a certain measure on this particular drive, the proud Papa right there on the sideline.
He said
probably the most nervous guy.
You know what he just said? He said that was close. Just a little bit overthrown. Check out the throwing styles of father and son. Ryan coming a little bit more 3-quarter, but there's no question. It's all in the genes for these Greasies.
3rd and 9. Crowd in full throat again. Greasy stepping up, fires, and it is not caught. It was into and out of the hands of Byron Chamberlain, who has problems holding on to the ball, and Matt Bowen helped him have that problem.
Denver fans and the Denver quarterbacks are used to that ball going to the tight end and never coming out. So
that's just a great play by Matt Bowen, the rookie out of Iowa, with the tomahawk chop on Byron Chamberlain.
Hey guys, I know the game heated up, but am I imagining things, or did Georgia Frontier pay us a visit a while back?
Georgia just came into the booth in the middle of that whole thing to drop off gifts.
It was nice to see her.
Not that we don't have enough going on tonight, right? A little floating kick, and he's able to hit it out of bounds, and then they'll march it off. And it will be marked at the 14-yard line. Alandis Gary being checked out on the sideline. How about that? 28-20 Rams. world-famous St. Louis Zoo, you can see a cheetah, an elephant trying to beat the heat, a real St. Louis ram, and a new member of the zoo. This African naked mole rat was named. Yes, it was. There you go, Dennis.
They got to get the thing some floss.
And braces.
I'm flattered, needless to say. Such a beautiful creature.
I'm sure you are. Rams' last 3 possessions have scored touchdowns on each. They have the ball now at their own 13-yard line. 1st and 10. And he gets taken down by his shirt. Wow, by Bill Romanowski. Bill Romanowski, as many of you know, the subject of a huge story in Denver this summer. He's facing 4 felony counts in a criminal drug case, and it involves the use of phentermine. It's an appetite suppressant. Some doctors believe it helps athletes by speeding up their metabolism. As Falk moves to the middle, other doctors say it's of little or no use, but the bigger story became what happened in Sports Illustrated. Another aspect of the story, in a Sports Illustrated article last month, the magazine reported an unnamed player testified before the grand jury and then told the magazine that Romanowski had said he needed the stimulants to keep up with the black guys and used the N-word to describe them. Of course, if true, that would have created a locker room maelstrom, but Romanowski addressed the team directly and refuted that allegation. So that seems to not be a problem. But of course, he has legal issues that he now must face, serious ones. Hakeem! Look at Hakeem with an escort. It's a track meet.
They don't need a football, they need a baton.
Or a checkered flag.
Just put that Christmas tree lighting system up on the goalpost. This is the NHRA Winter Nationals, and the Rams are staging.
And it's a great job of Mike Martz getting the matchup he wanted more than anything else. A speedy receiver out on strong safety, Billy Jenkins. One move, and Hakeem was gone.
It's the fastest football team I've ever seen. Unbelievable.
And a smart one, too.
Wilkins for the point after.
Martz has assembled a murderer's row of haste.
Here's the one tackle outside here. That's Billy Jenkins, 32. Doesn't break down, and it's over. It's over from there. Look at the convoy. Torrey Holt. They're looking at the crowd.
Wow.
And I think Holt nipped him at the wire.
Romulus and Remus going down that sideline.
Well, Hakeem was carrying the mail. But one missed tackle. It's unbelievable. Broncos come up and try to put pressure on Warner. He sees it. He goes for the knockout punch. And Hakeem delivers one more time. Look at him talking.
The Rams are now giving 5 as they go down the field.
I have never, ever seen anything like this football team. They were incredible last year. They're more incredible right now.
Last time I saw speed like this was John Carlos and Tommy Smith in Mexico City.
I'm not even sure Carl Lewis can win a spot on this roster. Romanowski can only shake his head. The Rams, the big play team of last year, have had 3 touchdowns of 70 or more yards tonight. 35-20 St. Louis. Kick comes down 12-yard line. Delta O'Neal takes it there and brings it back out to the 33-yard line. 3:52 remaining in the third. Well, Mike Martz, you know, there are so many stories like the Romanowski story I just had to tell you about. And then there's the Martz story. Here's a guy, he's an assistant forever, marries his high school sweetheart. They have 4 kids. She is, his wife Julie, the love of his life. In '92, when he's out of work, he works for the Rams in Los Angeles for free. Chuck Knox said, come aboard. I'll put you in here almost as an intern. He goes home one night and he tells his wife, you know, honey, I've got to support the family. I've got to get out of coaching. She says, Mike, The family loves it as much as you do. You've got to stay in the profession. And he said that's why he stayed in it. And here he is 8 years after being out of work as the head coach of the world champions.
And, you know, Al, after we met with him the other day, as we were waiting in our van to leave the Rams training site, we saw Mike pull out in a Porsche Targa Carrera, had the Rams hat on. You've never seen a happier guy.
I kidded him about it. He said, you guys didn't see that. He said, that's the one little thing I do on this side. Eric, what about Mike Martz?
Well, when you talk to the players about Mike Martz, they love him. They say he's such a nice guy. And one thing about him, you can ask him to do something, and he'll always do it. The players say he treats everybody the same. That's from Kurt Warner on down to the guys in the training room. So the players love playing for him.
35-20, the Rams on top. Howard Griffith hurt his ankle, so he had to come out. Gary is in the game with Detron Smith, and they swing it out to Gary, who juggles, holds on, makes the catch, and London Fletcher is there to knock him down.
You know, boys, it might be a little early to make this call, but Warner's 17 out of 22 for 325 yards. The all-time opening day record, indeed the all-time league record for yardage by a quarterback, is Norman Van Brocklin. 554 yards and 5 TDs on opening day. The way these boys are piling up the yards, Warner might have a chance.
And there he is. They put up the name of Norm Van Brocklin. Dan Deerdorf, who played here in St. Louis, my old partner as a Cardinal. They've mixed in the old Cardinals and the old LA Rams in their Ring of Honor. 2nd down and 6. And this is Gary taking it up to the 39-yard line.
Let's take a look at the Dutchman, Norm Van Brocklin, of course, a University of Oregon graduate, a member of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Here he is with the LA Rams in the Coliseum, number 25, throwing another touchdown pass.
You see what team he did that against, Dennis?
It looks like the 49ers.
What's that, Steelers?
The New York Yanks.
The New York Yanks?
Yes.
Wow, that's before Joe Torre came on.
And did you know the white football they used to use at night?
3rd down and 4. And that's McCaffrey making the catch. He got position on Dexter McLean, picks up the 1st down on a key 3rd down conversion.
Imitation is the highest form of flattery. This is a Ram type of play. It's a post route by McCaffrey, forcing McLean to the outside, then using that big body, 6'5", 220 pounds or so, to shield the defensive back away from that perfectly thrown pass by Brian Griese.
McCaffrey is just happy when he doesn't take a hellacious hit, because this guy gets hit like a piñata.
From the 43. Great ball handling. Ton of time. Into double coverage for Smith off his hands.
Well, Griese was really hoping to get one that time. He wanted McCaffrey to begin with on a shallower cross and then just threw that one up for grabs. Of course, Rod Smith came away with one earlier in the game. That time, Griese's real lucky that one wasn't picked off because the Rams were looking for it.
You know, guys, as we watched footage in our training sessions, we saw McCaffrey fake, well, not fake, but dramatize a lot of pass interference calls. I'm wondering if there's some word out on the street with defensive backs that he does that, and that's why he gets hit so hard.
There was Chamberlain all alone. I wouldn't say that's true, Dennis, except for the fact he's up for an Emmy for acting next week. This is caught by the tight end Carswell, and Carswell seeking that 1st down, tackled by Leonard Little and close to the line.
That's a great tackle by Leonard Little, because Carswell, if he gets by Little, he may go all the way down the sideline. There was nobody else there but Leonard Little to make that tackle for the Broncos.
He was so cognizant of what he needed for the 1st down, he must have saw that yellow line somehow.
3rd and 1. Speaking of the Emmys, you'll see them, the primetime Emmys, here on ABC this Sunday. 3rd down and 1 from the 33-yard line. Griese for Smith. Oh, he almost made the catch. Flag comes in. Dexter McLean with the coverage.
And McLean saying he was grabbed by Smith.
That was on a 3rd and 1.
Pass interference, defense 21, automatic 1st down.
There's that left hand in there. That got the call right there. McLean said that he was grabbed earlier on the play. I really like the call on 3rd down and 1 because you know you're going to get man-to-man coverage, and that's what they got in the secondary.
And McLean also put his hands on one of the officials after that play was called.
Can't do that.
Well, let's see. I'm surprised he's still on the field.
And we'll put the ball at the 7-yard line.
Understanding referee there.
1st and goal from the 7. There were 2 penalties on that play, 2 of them. From the 7. Greasy, bootleg, throws, back of the end zone, caught, touchdown, Desmond Clark. It takes 3 tight ends to fill the role that Shannon Sharp built so capably for years. Carswell, Clark, and Chamberlain, and Desmond with the touchdown here.
And Greasy says they want to go for 2, but you can see Clark in the back of the end zone. The bootleg has been very good for Brian Greasy and the Broncos. He scored 1 when he ran it in from 8 yards out. This time he finds his tight end in the back of the end zone for the easy score.
And you don't want to go for 2, down by 9. You want to get it to within 8, which is what they do right here, and the kick is good. So Shanahan says to Brian, I'll do the math. And it's 35-27 St. Louis.
Well,
Eric, what do you have?
Well, Rams linebacker Todd Collins is out. He has cramps. They took him in to give him an IV. They say he will return. So I'll give you more report on that later.
Okay.
I was sitting there in the hotel room last night watching that ESPN broadcast, which I thought was a great job they did. And I was thinking, I hope we get a game like this. Looks like we might have caught an even better one.
Hey, you know, the Rams, they averaged 32 points a game last year. They scored over 30 12 times. What else did you expect?
Look at the rating. A quarterback rating, if you're in triple figures, it's pretty good. And these guys, as you can see at the bottom, well over that. And 325 yards for Warner in 3 quarters tonight. So on a pace to throw for about 440. Melissa, what do you have?
Well, Al, in the offseason, Brian Greasy did a number of things to get ready for this year. First of all, he looked at every single play from last year, many of them bad, but he felt like he needed to do that before he could move on. In May, he would go over to the Broncos facility, and he did full-speed workouts with wide receiver Rod Smith. And now he's reading a book, not only his playbook, but a book by the Dalai Lama. It's called The Art of Happiness. He says it gives him peace of mind, Al.
Well, he's trying to give the Rams a piece of his mind tonight. As the kickoff is run back, the play is dead. The play has been whistled dead. All of this extracurricular stuff means nothing. Tony Horn was popped by Detron Smith, but the play was over.
Yeah, but it was a lot of fun, wasn't it?
Yes.
I know the Broncos enjoyed it. They knocked the heck out of the return man and then got after the ball. Look at this shot here. That's Detron Smith. He made the Pro Bowl last year. Clearly, the return man was down, Horn was down, but Detron with the big hit there.
Well, that's how you get voted captain of the special teams.
I'll tell you one thing. The Broncos they're facing a hot quarterback. Warner's last 3 passes have all gone for touchdowns.
Warner 17 of 22 for 325 yards tonight. With 41 ticks left in the 3rd. A little toss back to Falk. Nothing there. And nothing there either as he turns it back. Stopped by Glenn Kadriz. Earlier I told you the specifics about the Bill Romanowski situation. And as the clock ticks down, we had Mike Shanahan talking about it. We'll try to get to that at a certain point when we get into the 4th quarter. And Mike discusses the aftermath of what has been a huge story in Denver this summer. End of 3, 35-27 Rams. Warner became a star last year, and so in effect did his wife Brenda. Their story well known by the end of the season. Kurt marrying Brenda, adopting the 2 children.
Behind every great man.
Yep. Warner marks. Fourth quarter starts with Warner throwing off his back foot and incomplete. Marshall Faulk down the sideline. Just to wrap up the Romanowski story, we had talked about it. Bill addressing the team, and here is what Mike Shanahan said about the aftermath.
He wanted to take a lie detector test to let everybody on the football team know that he wasn't afraid to do something like that, because his reputation is more important to him than anything in the world. He's worked very hard to get where he's gotten, and not only did he address that issue, but he talked to the team and told him where he was coming from. I think after he addressed it and talked about the situation, that the team felt very comfortable.
Lie detector test in relation to the Sports Illustrated article as Isaac Bruce makes the catch up to the 26-yard line, not in relation to the court case that he will eventually face.
Well, only time will tell how the whole thing will sift out, but right now the Broncos, more importantly on the field, have got to find a way of stopping the Rams. And that time, the play before, Warner got the matchup he wanted. He had Marshall Faulk on Romanowski down the sidelines, just couldn't deliver him a good enough pass.
And now with Faulk going so deep downfield, he needs a breather. And Trung Candidate, who did not play in preseason because of an ankle sprain, their #1 pick out of Arizona, and as fleet as the other Rams, is in the backfield. 1st and 10 from the 26, action up front. So there would have been Candidate's first carry, but it is illegal procedure.
Imagine that in the year 2000, a candidate who's quick on his feet.
And you know what? He was going to score on that play. He was gone. It wasn't for the penalty.
He'll tell his kids. Meanwhile, Candidate in. Here's what Marshall Faulk has done tonight.
He's just the most electrifying open field runner in the game today. This little touchdown run of 5 yards, but not only can he make the quick moves, he's got the flat-out speed as a wide receiver as well. The complete offensive package, all wrapped up in number 28.
Addendum to my previous statement, behind every great man is a Marshall Faulk.
On 1st and 15, Warner guns it, juggled, caught. Isaac Bruce, Crockett drags him down, but not until he takes it to the 47-yard line.
You talk about concentration. Isaac Bruce had Eric Brown flying right in front of his face as the ball was coming in. Watch at the top of the screen. There's the ball. There's Brown. There's the catch. And this is a heck of a tackle by Ray Crockett. If he doesn't make the tackle, you know what? Bruce is gone too.
Wow, they've got that Bruce thing done better than the Springsteen concert.
25-yard gain. Unbalanced again tonight. And Warner is going to take a timeout. Timeout, St. Louis, early in the 4th. The champions up by 8.
Hello, I'm Jack Nath. Wow. Three of my biggest fans there, Al.
I can count.
She had those Survivor beads on.
Three amigos right there. Bruce, Hakeem, and Holt, the nights they are having. Plus, Faulk has over 100 yards tonight. In fact, he has exactly 100 yards receiving. Warner throws. This is Hakeem. Ever dangerous, no matter who has the ball.
You know, we've been talking so much about the receivers and Marshall Faulk and Kurt Warner, and well, we should, but this is a very athletic offensive line. Again, Ryan Tucker and Adam Timmerman were out in front that time and almost were able to spring the receiver for another big gain. But this offensive line is doing it all. The Rams are averaging over 10 yards every time they snap the ball. That's incredible.
It is. It's a first down every time they snap the ball in effect. 2nd and 1, little toss back. And the Broncos are able to sniff that one out. Nice play by Eric Brown to break it up and knock Marshall down in the backfield.
Hey, you know, Eric Brown started the game with a tackle in the backfield on Marshall Faulk way about 400 yards ago. That was a nice play as he came up on the run blitz from his safety position.
Well, it might not be the best time to talk about it after a loss of yardage on a rushing play, but Martz did tell us that he thought that McCollum and Tucker were an upgrade over Grudadari and Miller, who moved on after last year.
Now Tucker's a little bit more athletic than Fred Miller.
3rd down and 2 at the 46-yard line. And that is caught for a first down by Torrey Holt. So if it's not Bruce and it's not Falk and it's not Hakeem, it's Holt. Well, Crockett is one of the guys who has to worry about covering this Ram track team, and here is how the veteran Ray described the St. Louis receivers.
Explosive. If you want a one-word description, explosive. I mean, they have great speed. We all know that they have very talented weapons over there, and it comes in abundance. Normally, you go up against a team, they have maybe one guy. This group has probably 4 or 5 guys that can beat you at any time, so very explosive group.
And that time it's Holt who tries to beat him, but the pass was behind him, and Terrell Buckley was there for the coverage.
I talked to Ray at practice on Friday in Denver, and he said that he thought that this was the best time for the Broncos to play the Rams because they were all fresh, they were all injury-free, and it would give them a good barometer as to exactly what their progress is. But he said he was worried about the communication in the secondary. A lot of new guys in that secondary, and right now with no pass rush from the front 4, Warner's having another Warner day.
Using everybody. I'm half expecting to see Bucky Pope catch one.
2nd and 10. And that is picked off in the end zone. Al Wilson, intended for Marshall Faulk, and Wilson with another big defensive play. His 2nd pick of the night and the 2nd pick of his career.
Beautiful coverage.
The #1 pick out of Tennessee last year. It didn't have an interception last year, but tonight running the entire length of the field with Marshall Faulk. This is an outstanding play by Al Wilson.
That is
middle linebacker covering Marshall Faulk. Kurt Warner should have never thrown that ball.
A lot of responsibility for a backer.
Can I see some ID, please? Yeah, you're 21. Just.
Monday night, what an opener. 8-point game, Rams up 35-27. The Broncos have it after the Wilson pick. And it's McCaffrey who starts this drive with an 8-yard reception up to the 28-yard line. Ed McCaffrey making his 5th catch of the night. Week 2 in the NFL, Sunday night from the desert, the Arizona Cardinals after their loss to the Giants against the Cowboys. And what in the world is going on with the Cowboys? You'll find out Sunday on ESPN. Monday will be in the Meadowlands, the Patriots and the Jets. 9 o'clock Eastern, Monday Night Football. 2nd down, 2. Robert Brooks in the game. This is Gary, and Gary takes it to midfield and gets to the 48-yard line.
Deceiving speed of Olandis Gary gets a great block from Mark Schlereth. The guy with all the knee operations. Watch him, number 69 here, right side of the screen. He's going to take care of Fletcher. Olandis Gary had a 71-yard run last year. Shows you he's got the speed to go all the way.
From the 47-yard line, 9:45 left in regulation. Showing corner blitz. It's picked up by Griffith. The ball goes to Gary, and he takes it to the 33-yard line off a block from Griffith.
Well, usually what comes after 29 is 30. I know the math on that one. But after 29 in the last couple of plays, it's been 22. Good job right here. Right at you. Jim Duke is our umpire tonight. He's giving us these great pictures. Gary gets all the way to the safety, Devin Bush.
Again, Davis, ankle injury, not related to the knee surgery last year, but out since early in the first half. Greasy guns it. Caught. 16-yard line by Ed McCaffrey, having another big night. Keith Lyle with the hit. That's 6 catches for 97 yards for Easy Ed.
Well, Shanny's got to love the resiliency his team's exhibiting here, Dan. But they were possibly out of it down there.
Now Greasy's thrown it at about 70% completion. But when you run the ball as effectively as the Broncos just did on 2 straight plays to Gary, that opens up the play-action pass, and that's where Greasy is best.
8.5 left in regulation. To the ground again. To Gary, and he's taken down. Good ankle tackle by Grant Wistrop. Gain of 2. It'll be 2nd down and 8. Crowd quiet right now. It's funny, isn't it great, Dennis, the ebb and flow of the crowd in a game like this?
Now it's exponential, the difference from the preseason. The game is afoot, Holmes.
Now they roar again. 2nd down and 8. Make it 9 from the 15-yard line. Greasy stumbles as he throws and is lucky it wasn't picked off. Falling backwards, intended for McCaffrey.
You talked about the AstroTurf, Dennis, early in the game. I think the AstroTurf reaches up and grabs Greasy right here. Or it was Alandis Gary that tripped him going by. Real lucky that little wounded duck wasn't picked off, because if it was, it might have been another Ram touchdown. Here comes that crowd again.
This time McCaffrey and Smith both line up wide left. On 3rd and 9. Now they send Eddie to the right. Greasy escapes. Throws. Caught by Gary. Touchdown, but he may have been across the line. He appeared to have been across the line of scrimmage. There is a flag down. The line of scrimmage is the 15-yard line. Brian stepping up, and from here it did look like he threw, but he was across the line of scrimmage.
Nice up job by the officials.
Beyond the line. 5 yards. Loss of down. 4th down.
And that's the key. 4th down.
That's the killer. Brian just wasn't across the line of scrimmage. He was 2, almost 3 yards across the line of scrimmage. You can see the line of scrimmage is about the 16-yard line. Heads up play. He's looking to run, but now he knows that he can't get the 1st down running. So there he crosses. That's the 14-yard line, 2 yards too far.
Tried to stop. He knew he was getting close to the line of scrimmage. Knew he couldn't get the 1st down. And so it is Elam to attempt a 36-yard field goal. This would cut the Ram lead to 5. Ruined the hole. Low snap, but he gets it down, and Jason's kick is good. Trey Teague was the snapper. Elam bangs it through. And we now have 7 minutes, 32 seconds remaining in regulation in the Trans World Dome, with the Rams now leading 35-30. As Keith Sexton would say, it's a bun burner. And forced out of bounds up at the 26-yard line by George Coghill. Monday Night Football is being brought to you by Mazda. Mazda, get in, be moved. Universal Pictures, The Watcher. Lee Dungarees, Buddy Lee tested, Buddy Lee approved. And Original Coors, when you're an original, you do it your own way. Original Coors. St. Louis on this early September night. Al Michaels with Dan Fouts, Dennis Miller, Eric Dickerson, and Melissa Stark. Opening night, year 31 of Monday Night Football, and the Rams trying to protect a 5-point lead as Kurt Warner retreats and then throws and goes to the tight end here. That's Jeff Robinson making the catch. Minimal gain.
Yeah, why not Jeff Robinson? Let's bring him into the cast of characters.
Well, he's the 7th different guy that Warner's thrown to tonight.
I think they brought Jeff Robinson out of the stands. Said, you want to catch a ball on national TV? Let's go, kid.
Second ball and 7. The ball at the 29-yard line. And it's picked off. What a move by Buckley. Terrell Buckley gives Denver the
T-Buck was sitting on that.
Wow. Terrell Buckley, exactly right, sitting on it, waiting for it, and there it was.
Well, he's got 33 career interceptions. At 5'9", he climbed the ladder there on Torrey Holt, and now he's in the end zone. What a great play by Buckley to turn things totally around for the Broncos. Watch the shot Warner takes here by Romanowski. Who else?
Wow, I think Romo let up on him. It looked like he could have really blindsided him.
Now they'll go for 2 because they're leading by 1 to try to make it a 3-point differential. This play last year worked 37% of the time, a little bit more than 1 and 3. They give it to Gary, and he cannot get in. So it is still a 1-point game as London Fletcher saves the deuce. So Buckley, who gives them the 6 to give them the lead. Terrell Buckley, been around a long time, 9 years now out of Florida State. 36-35, Denver.
What would happen if an SUV were raised by a family of sports cars?
Kennedy.
We got a couple real good shots of this interception. A 3-step drop by Warner. Buckley was laying off, broke on the ball extremely well. And on this second picture, we'll show you exactly how he read the eyes of the quarterback, Kurt Warner, and then came up. Here he is on the outside here. It's a quick 3-step route by Holt on the outside, and there's Buckley. Buckley told me, he says, you know, they're fast and everything, but I went to Florida State. I know what fast is.
From the 25. Warner slings it, and a wobbly side armor is caught by Ricky Prohl up at the 36 for a first down, tackled by Crockett.
Could have a whoever has the ball last wins scenario here tonight.
The good thing for Kurt Warner is he had thrown interceptions on the previous 2 out of the last 3, so this gets him back at least with a completion. Prohl with the super job of separating at the last minute from Crockett to make that reception.
404 yards for Warner tonight. With 3 touchdowns, 3 picks, full. Gain of 2. Bud 1 airship floating high above St. Louis. Gateway to the west, not far from the fabled Gateway Arch. Big sports day in St. Louis. The Cardinals this afternoon hosted the Montreal Expos, the Cardinals coming off their weekend sweep of the Mets. 5:20 remaining in regulation. Warner, remember, had 414 yards in the Super Bowl, but no interceptions. And they spread them out. 5 wideouts, nobody in the backfield, and nobody is there to protect them. And Bill Romanowski said, I'll take care of that. When you don't leave a blocking back in, that's the risk you run.
Greg Robinson with a great call, bringing Romanowski on the blitz. But you know, Romanowski's such a veteran, he might have seen the opening there and just come on his own because Falk was split out of the backfield. And Warner held on to the ball too long. When you don't have protection back there, you got to get rid of it faster.
Good point, Dan, about maybe he did that on his own. He's not normally a blitzing linebacker. He didn't have a sack all last season. And this quick pass is caught by Ricky Prohl for a first down. So on 3rd and long, Ricky says, first down, move the chains. I'm at the 45, and Brenda loves it.
Well, you got to love it because they get sacked on the play before because they're in a spread formation. They come right back with a spread formation. Warner reads the blitz again. There's Romo coming, 53, and he finds Prohl, the uncovered man. Beautiful offense.
1st and 10 at the 46-yard line. Broncos by 1. Bruce comes in motion toward the formation, and then the pass is almost picked off again. He let Falk too much, and it was Buckley covering on the play. Terrell can only grin at Cadrez.
God, Warner is usually so spot on. It's just almost like odd to see him throw a couple passes that aren't where they should be.
Well, that was an odd-looking pass because Falk was looking to the inside, and the ball was thrown way too far to the inside, and it was such a poorly thrown ball that Buckley couldn't make a reaction and make a play on it.
T-Buck's still thinking about that touchdown.
2nd down and 10. Warner out of time. He'll come this way. Throw. Caught. 32-yard line. Holcomb. Robert Holcomb. Now there's a case of you were talking or asking Dan in preseason about going through your reads. What's Holcomb, number 15?
You know, you got to account for him, though. He caught 14 passes last year. But the fascinating thing about this game is that here we got 3.5 minutes to go. And you would think that the Rams would just play to get it down there, run some time off the clock, and kick the winning field goal. They're going for a touchdown, if you know Mike Martin.
1st and 10 at the 31. Back to the ground. Look at that move by Falk. Inside the 10, all the way. Is he in? He is not in, they're going to say. Inside the 1, out at the half-yard line. Pushed out by Billy Jenkins.
What's the call on that pylon, guys?
His foot stepped out long before he hit the pylon.
Oh.
Although Marshall thinks he deserves a touchdown. That was such a beautiful run. Made a couple of great moves to get out in the open field here.
Well, that's a great look.
That's a great picture there. You see his left foot step out of bounds, but that's a camera running along the sideline trying to keep up with Marshall Falk. You talk about the ump cam having a tough time tonight. How about that cameraman?
Good luck. And timeout is taken here. With 3:02 left in regulation. We didn't hear Austin's call. I assume it's a Ram timeout. So it'll be 1st and goal from inside the 1.
We're calling this thing the steady cam. That's a pretty good job there running along. He had a little head start on Marshall, and he didn't have far to go to the goal line. But that's a great job by a big man.
Who's carrying the steady cam? Bullet Bob Hayes? Oh, it is Bob Hayes.
That's no Bullet Bob Hayes. What an effort by Marshall Falk. Well, you just can't get any of these guys out in the open field.
Now the Rams inside the 1, 1st and goal, trying to retake the lead. Shifting, leaving Holcomb with the slow setback, and they give it to him, and Holcomb gets him for the touchdown. Up by 5, they'll go for 2.
All right, you know they might have wanted to take a little bit more time off the clock, but in Mike Martz's offense, that's impossible. Everybody they give the ball to thinks they're going to go in the end zone. Robert Holcomb did it 4 times last year. This is a Holcomb drive. We saw the reception, and now he caps it off with a touchdown run.
Now, you know Martz has something interesting. Whipped up for the 2-point conversion.
Meanwhile, there's an officials timeout here because there is an injured Bronco.
Looks like Al Wilson, middle linebacker.
Huge night for him. He's already had his first 2 career interceptions as you watch Holcomb get in again.
Al Wilson, the injured Bronco.
And Wilson is such a big guy, especially in the absence of John Mobley, their premier linebacker, who missed almost all of last season, who they think will get back next week. But
Looks like it. I'm sorry, Al. Looks like it might be a shoulder injury for Wilson. He met Holcomb low, and Holcomb went right over the top. Holcomb goes about 220. Wilson has had a fantastic night. What a terrible way to end it.
Yes.
It's got to be a great feeling for Shanny, though, when Mobley goes down to bring Kaders in. He was the last year's leading tackler for the Broncos.
Ian Gold is his backup, and he's a rookie. Meanwhile, Marshall Falk, another big night, 78 yards rushing, 100 yards receiving. Eric, what are your impressions of number 28?
Well, I think he's great. You've got some great backs in the league. You've got Eddie George, Emmitt Smith, but Marshall Falk is different from them all. Now, the Rams like to line him up outside, and he throws the ball to him where last year he had over 1,000 yards rushing. They bring him back in the backfield. He had over 1,300 yards rushing. Now, to me, this is what coaches love about it. He's so versatile. Coaches love this. Now, it's only one other guy that's like Marshall Faulk, and that is the guy in Indianapolis, Edgerrin James. These are what I call the backs of the 21st century. They can kind of do it all. That's what coaches love about them.
And it doesn't matter whether you're talking about the 21st century having started or starting this January 1st.
Don't get cosmic on me. The game's here.
This is knocked down on the two-point attempt, so Warner tries to expand the advantage to 7, but instead it remains at 5 with 2:58. And looking ahead, the Broncos have 2 timeouts plus the 2-minute warning when they get the ball, which is an eternity.
Yeah, you know, we talked about how efficient this Ram offense has been tonight, but the Broncos have been awesome as well, averaging over 7.5 yards every time they snap the ball. It's kind of like an offensive orgy, isn't it, Dennis?
Looks like one of those old San Diego-Miami games, Dano. They're throwing it all in here. Where's Tony Nathan?
Right. I knew I could get you to react off the word orgy.
Yeah. Danny would know what an offensive orgy is. Don't forget Spin City, beginning Wednesdays this fall. Charlie Sheen will be joining Heather Locklear to see it Roch Ear on ABC.
I need the 2-minute warning. I'm winded.
So what do you think, big boy?
Oh, it's so much
Your first
fun.
real game?
You know what? I'm speaking for fans out there. It's just like one of us got let in, and it is the most fun.
Can I call you baby?
Al, I insist on that Rat Pack treatment.
The Rat Pack. We were both sleeping by 9:30 last night. This is Delta O'Neal downing it in the end zone.
Guess we're going to have to go to the Mole Rat Pack after what the St. Louis Zoo did for me.
Let me just tell you this. It's not going to be this way every week, okay?
No? It's going to be better?
A little bit different style next week when we go into the Meadowlands at Fortuna Bowl 25 or whatever it is with the Patriots and the Jets. It's just, you know, these teams are a little bit different.
You mean Belichick and Groh aren't going to open it up like this?
2:54 left.
If you guys are talking to me, I can't tell.
77 points in the game. Rams leading by 5. Greasy to the 38-yard line, and McCaffrey gets open and gets taken down by Bush. I mean, to me, Dan, it's almost like a quantum leap with Greasy from last year. He really looks great.
Yeah, and the way you can tell is how quickly he gets back to pass. That shows me confidence that he feels good about his game. But he's making the reads, he's stepping up into the pocket, and he's delivering the ball to where his receivers can make the catch without putting their bodies in harm.
He showed nice stuff in the preseason, passer rating of 117.
Over 300 yards tonight for Greasy. Tremendous poise, stepping up, feeling the pressure, and then this one incomplete, intended over the middle for Olandis Gary.
You know, and if the comparisons to Elway aren't enough, Al, here this is the type of situation where Denver Bronco fans forever think about John Elway. Now Greasy not only has to go against this great defense of the Rams, although they haven't played that well tonight, but he's got to have that aura of Elway in the back of so many people's minds still.
Me and my shadow.
Second down, 10 from the 38-yard line. Fake draw, looks deep, steps out, can't step up, sacked at the 27-yard line. Great job by the secondary, and then finally the line able to get in there. Grant Wistrom and DeMarco Farr, and that's DeMarco Farr who is shaken up. So that silences the crowd. The very popular defensive tackle, one of the few old Los Angeles Rams, is the man who is injured as we come to the 2-minute warning.
This is where Greasy has got to turn the ball loose. He can't ad-lib in this type of situation. Only one guy, and that's that old number 7, could make a play out of that one.
What kind of finish are we set up for? Stick around. We still have a lot of time.
You got a problem with that? Huh?
Not at all. Cards, Cowboys Sunday, ESPN, Jets Patriots Monday next week. What a beginning this is. 3rd and 21. Greasy under pressure again, sacked again, loses the ball, but the play is over. No fumble. Kevin Carter, who led the league in sacks last year with 17, picks a most opportune time for his first of 2000.
Big playmakers make big plays at precisely the right instant. There's Kevin Carter.
And Pat Bowlen, the Broncos owner, coming down onto the field, and now his team in pretty dire straits. 4th down, and from here to Creve-Coeur.
And Matt Lepsis has had a real good night. Most of the time, unfortunately, on that play, Carter just overpowered him. He knew the pass was coming, and he knew where Greasy was going to be in the pocket.
The Broncos have to take a timeout, which will leave them with only one. So even had they thought about punting and taking a couple of timeouts defensively, that option is now gone because they have to take the timeout here. And when they come up to the line of scrimmage, which is the 15-yard line, they have to get to the 48 or 33 yards for a first down.
And if you count the 7 or 8 or 9 yards that Greasy will go back in the pocket, that means he literally has to throw the ball 40 to 45 yards just to pick up the first down. So we might see an alley-oop situation here. It's definitely one pass and the ball game's over. Or one incomplete pass.
Greasy, there is Georgia Frontier, the owner of the Rams, who shepherded the team to St. Louis from Anaheim in '95. The fans here hopeful of seeing that Lombardi trophy remain in St. Louis. So it's 4th and 33 as the Broncos try to keep alive. They have to get to the 48. Greasy hit as he launches it, whacked from behind by Grant Wistrom. And a flag is thrown at the end of the play.
Well, the book on Wistrom is he never stops.
One of the Bronco offensive linemen were downfield, so you can blow dry Teddy Copple's hair, Dennis.
This one's done. I forgot about it. Thank you.
Didn't you copyright that line for crying out loud?
I paid him for it.
He's my brethren. He's my brethren.
What a game.
4th and 33. You know, you rehearse that kickoff play between Titans and Buffalo more than you rehearse a 4th and 33.
You know, there's just no chance for Greasy. A real competitive evening for him there. Too bad it had to end the way it did with those last 3 plays. But he certainly has grown up a lot, and he's given Mike Shanahan reason to believe that the Broncos can contend.
You know, the Rams gain yardage when they take a knee.
Well, Pat Bowlen, as you see our credits, Don Ohlmeyer, the producer of Monday Night Football, directed by Drew Esikoff. And our technical director since year 1, Joey Chavo. David Israel, our coordinating producer. You saw Pat Bowlen on the sideline. Pat, who has 2 Lombardi trophies or replicas thereof, and Mike Martz, a very happy man. And you think of the Martz story, and we talked about it, a guy who really paid his dues, and on Labor Day, this guy who finally gets his all-time big break winds up a winner on Monday Night Football before a roaring throng in defense of a Super Bowl championship with an explosive offensive attack and a wonderful, wonderful opening game.
And it has to feel great for Martz to be down there amidst the Warriors. He's led that antiseptic life in the booth for the last few years. He's commanded his men.
Mike Shanahan takes his team home to face Dan Reeves and the Falcons coming into Denver. Martz takes his team to Seattle to face the Seahawks. So the Rams in defense of their title. A good beginning as they knock off the Broncos in a great one. 41-36. We'll wrap in a moment.
It's too hot to move. Whoa, look at her. Hello, kitty. I think I'm in love. I'm going in. I've been waiting for you all my life. Will you marry me?
You're really sweeping me off my feet. Welcome to paradise, boys.
Coors Light, frost brewed at the edge of freezing.
Men are sheep.